It was close.
There was a
Close,
one there.
but no cigar. Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. Before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some cool emotes. In addition to all of that, if you're interested in joining our community, we do have open slots available. Be sure to reach out to me and let me know, or go through our Patreon and just let me know. So, go ahead, Tolsha. Tell us what happened last session.
Last session, we were recovering from the post-Lily revival period as a new art form was born of Warforged. Most of us took a week off to try and recenter ourselves as getting some things done that we'd been putting off in Tal'Dorei itself. Bernie went off to... I'm forgetting the name of the town, but he went off to go see his mother, and then his commander, and his girlfriend, maybe. Future wife? Future wife.
My wife.
To give a report based off of everything that happened, where we found he got reinstated after the lawbearer spoke to him. Jeriel was just mostly hanging out, to my knowledge, and just training with and furthering himself, because not a lot of stuff, I think, for him to do here. Lily was repairing her body to make it better. I sent a few sendings to try and figure out where some people ended up, as well as talking to Braun for like 5 days to try and pick his brain off of any information he was willing to share or persuaded him to share about how life was back during his time and any other thing he might have interesting. While Miriam went off to the Lyceum to give a report, and Natalie, Clover, where do I begin with that one? Got Bernie and me after the week to help her with a ritual, as apparently she is becoming the avatar of her god and needed advisors. Bernie was, after a while, was like, nah, I'm not helping with this. I was like, well, I mean, at least you're going for someone who's good and evil. Ended up doing a planar ally for an advisor for her, and ended up getting, for Natalie, the unicorn named Serendipity as the proverbial angel on her shoulder, while Natalie decided to summon a demon. No, devil. Sorry.
Big
A devil.
difference. Big difference.
Big difference. Big difference. That does not like her. Does not like her at all. And does not like the situation she's put in.
I mean, would you be happy if you were forcibly enslaved into serving somebody?
Fair point. And the first thing that Clover said to do is like, okay, you need to be informed so that other people won't freak out. As so, Serendipity chose a horned rabbit, and the devil chose a bat. And Clover chose vulture, but then was forced to go bat. So, after that, the group gathered back up, went back to Draconia, grabbed the table as we took off in the boat to head back to Zarzith Kittrell to collect a reward, where we heard a rumor that from, I believe it was Braun, that there is possible singularity in one of the Eyes of the Lake, which happens to be where we're heading next.
Alrighty. So, there you are in Zarzith Kittrell after teleporting around a couple of times. Miriam doing the teleporting for everybody, but let's go back a day or so, Miriam. You were requested to return to the Lyceum for an interrogation. Not that they suspect that you did anything heinous or terribly wrong, just they need to confirm and make sure. As such, when you return back to it, you notice the amount of security they have as somebody who's in touch with Arcana. They make it so arriving on the teleportation circle, everything is pitch black around you. You cannot see even through whatever illusion is placed in front of you. It is layered so that even people who can see through magical darkness cannot see through this. It is a physical illusion that only something with true sight would be able to break through. Aside from that, you notice that there are glyphs warding off every 5 feet or so between the teleportation circle through the massive courtyard over to the triple towers that they have. All of the co-ed residents that were in buildings away from the 3 towers are currently under constant patrol by Eldritch Knights as you are walking across this landscape, heading into the 3 spires. One of the professors approaches over towards you. This is an individual who you don't recognize at your time here, presumably one of the studies that you didn't care very much about. Alrighty. Hello, Miriam. It is a pleasure. I'm going to be infiltrating into your mind. The way that this goes without hurting you is you relax.
Are we just like out in the middle of a courtyard, or are we in a room or something?
You're standing in the grand hall of the 1st tower.
All right. Can I have a chair, please?
Very well. An individual to your right just moves 3 fingers and a chair appears behind you. It was not Natalie who did this.
All right. All right.
Please sit down so we can proceed.
I will sit down.
The individual begins drawing little tiny markers on your forehead, around your temples, and onto the back of your head as well. As he draws all of them, he takes out a dagger, cutting his finger, and begins circling around them as well. As this happens, you feel magic begin pulsing from this individual into your brain. Are you resisting?
I am not.
Alrighty.
It's my better judgment.
You feel an openness inside of your mind as they do this. You feel like there's somebody traversing through your brain. And they begin prodding you with all of the questions. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Are you compromised? And every time you answer, though you already told me you were going to be answering all of these questions honestly, you feel that they are actively probing into your mind in order to try to discern if this is a lie or if this is truth.
This mage's head is going to explode.
Oh, he seems pretty happy right now. It takes about 4 hours of this. And by the time the mage is done, you see a feverish sweat pouring down their entire body, and their robes are even beginning to become sullied before they automatically prestidigitate themselves. All right. Thunderbrand, I do not believe he's lying to any of us. All right, well, I thought not. That's good. So, looks like you're not compromised, but we're happy to have you back at the academy. I heard your sister is doing better.
That's a complicated question. Yes.
Is she better than dead?
Yes.
Then better. Good. I saw that look. Well then. We will begin working on getting you set up with a new course schedule for you for this semester. You're a little bit behind, but based off of what we've seen inside your mind, I believe we can warrant you at least moving up to 6th year pretty reasonably. He confirms with the other mage, who nods.
Professor, Well, that is. Well, I'm thankful. I'm afraid I should not. I need to stay with my family, and I believe they will be heading back.
This family you found, they're Are you positive those memories are your memories? It seems a little fantasy to me.
To be fair, I would not be surprised if someone has messed with something, but I believe I've seen enough. Actually, that's a good question. Since I know how that since I have those spells now, would I be able to tell if my own memory has been altered?
You wouldn't be able to tell, but you'd be able to know how to break it. Greater restoration.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to deny that this whole experience that I've had does not sound like the tales in between Lily's notebooks. But pain and regrets, I think, are a lot harder to fabricate. I believe everything I have experienced is real.
Very well. Professors, he and I are going to have a conversation real quick in my office. Follow me to the headmaster's office, he says with like a tiny smirk as he starts wandering up the stairs. And you walk over towards the stairs, and now that they have properly probed you, the illusions hiding where the stairs were, where all the doors were, and everything else are now visible to you. You begin ascending these staircases that, as soon as you step onto one and begin traveling upwards, you know how to operate this. This is something you've done for years inside of the academy. When you begin thinking about where it is you need to be going, the stairs will adjust and shift and move you to that proper room, so long as you are allowed to. And you, knowing that you are traveling with Thunderbrand, should allow him to control this. And he brings you up towards the very top of this single spire. And when you get there, there is a circular hole in the ceiling that you have personally never been inside of. This is the entryway into the headmaster's office. You've been accepted into this academy. You've done very good here over your experiences, but you are more of a applied mage, and mostly the people who are academic scholars to the extreme, the creme of the crop, are ever invited into this establishment in order to make it a goal to be reached. As he gets over towards it, he places his hand up top on it, and you see a Goliath-sized maul appears above his and then shrinks down to his hand, and then the opening begins twisting counterclockwise, and a twisting staircase reaches down to your staircase to allow you up inside. As you step on, the staircase brings you back up and seals you both inside. The top of this tower is apparently an observatory. A perfectly glass-domed ceiling above you that arcs with the perfect curvature of Exandria itself. Exandria is not flat, Wyatt.
I totally forgot about that. That was like an ongoing joke. So we were on Zodiac, and the ongoing joke was for 2 years that Zodiac was flat. And then we had the premier scientist of Zodiac come forward and say, I can tell you with 100% certainty, Zodiac is not flat, and no one listened to him. And instead,
But anyways,
That's it.
you see, aside from the glass around the dome of all of this, there's also these bookshelves that appear incredibly far away from you, but as soon as Thunderbrand begins walking, they almost seem to move closer towards him, and these dozens upon dozens of them that leave you feeling nauseated from the contrast of far and then close that they have over towards you, and you know it's best probably not to concentrate on them just to not get a migraine. He moves over towards the center of this room where there is a desk, and he sits down. When he waves his hand, a chair appears on the opposite side of the desk, a much shorter chair than his in order to make both of you eye height. As you look around, you see Thunderbrand smiles. Well, I'm glad you're not compromised, and I'm really glad your sister's still alive.
So am I.
It's my duty to make sure every student comes back to the academy, and that we do not have anyone who could be compromised out inside of the world. However, you're more than aware that despite my school of practice, I am not a defensive style of mage. I prefer the offense. And you see a very serious look come over his eyes that you have not seen in Thunderbrand ever. With the knowledges that you have and the access to different magics and that airship, I'd like to ask you something, Miriam.
Of course.
These singularities. You've already let a couple of them fall into the wrong hands. We need those back. Any way possible. But if there are more out there, like you suggest there might be, we need them. Now, there's not a lot of professors that I trust greatly enough to ask them to go out into the wild, you know? Most of them are happy with their cushy desk jobs, researching and trying to figure out whatever it is, and he just raises his pinky like that says everything. But we need field agents. We need field scholars. It's no lie, you've never been the top of your class. But you've excelled past the 3 years that you were supposed to study here in the past year by being out there. You are made for the researching. I need you to find these artifacts and safeguard them. If it can be used as a weapon to help end this war faster, I want it. But if you think that it is too dangerous for that, we have to try to protect it and hide it as well.
I agree, Professor. I've seen at least a fraction of what they're capable of doing, and I'm honestly scared of what the others' potential could be.
You have not even discovered the most dangerous ones.
We have records of these singularities?
As acting headmaster, I have access to all forbidden knowledges. And as such, I've conducted my own research into any weapon that might be utilized in ending this war. I don't want people to die. I want the leaders to die. Why should the poor have to suffer for the mistakes of those that manipulate them? So I've been researching them. And this academy is protected by one of them.
I'm sorry, just for player clarification, did he just say this? The Lyceum is protected by a singularity? Holy fucking shit. Okay, that's one.
And although we could use it as a weapon, I'd rather safeguard the students and knowledges that are here with it.
That's... I've always wondered how the Lyceum maintains its defenses. That would do it.
Now, I have not been able to break through the surface of it. I only know how to manipulate it in the ways that scholars have discerned previous to me. The first Lyceum to found this school. And through generations, every headmaster has researched this object as best as they can during times of peace that they are able to research it. He snaps his finger, and you watch as a bookshelf, about 8 feet tall, 12 feet wide, comes rolling over to the desk. Every single one of these tomes is what we know about this one. It barely scratches the surface. But you have experience with them, right?
Yes.
Chad. Activate safety. Maximum security. Null magic on walls. And you watch as the dome ceiling immediately frosts over. You feel magic becomes a lot tighter in this room. Like it's not filtering out anymore. What is in here is all that is allowed to be in here. He goes over to the desk and pushes against something underneath it. With your passive, that's all I'll tell you. And you watch as the center of the desk opens up and a sphere floats out of it. When you begin looking at it, it has that same purplish, hazy glow inside of it that you've recognized in the other artifacts that you've discovered so far. Except this one is more of a storm inside of it. You can almost see the energy and magic rotating around and pulsating within it. This is the Sphere of Passage, a singularity. With this, we are allowed to stop any passing that we desire. We are able to utilize it in order to also allow any passing we desire. The laws of boundaries and such like that are not limited to us if we utilize this. However, one wrong mistake when utilizing it, and you look closely and you see it looks like a perfect sphere, but there's these tiny little edges that suggest these different corners all around it. It's not a perfect sphere. It could take you someplace different. And not every place you go to can be safe. The Lyceum itself is held inside of one of these places. Is there anything about this you can discern from your studies and your experiences?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to assume that's an Arcana check.
Investigation.
Oh, investigation. The thing I didn't bump. Damn it. This is important. I'm using my session advantage. $19.
So, one thing that you are aware of when it comes to these objects so far is it would appear the more sides they have, the more powerful they can be. And because a sphere is not actually a one-sided object, it is an infinitely sided object. You don't think there's a limitation to how powerful this object could actually be. But it seems to be limited to teleportation magics in particular, by the sounds of it. But looking over it at these little different grooves all around, you think that it's like a doorway that you can open or close. Either open to a location to allow individuals in, or close it off so nobody can come in, or open it so that you could allow people into different locations, or close it off so that people can't go into those locations but can go to other ones. It's a very strange object. And when you start looking around the other sides of it, you notice that it has a tiny triangle underneath it, cut into the base. It's the smallest little itty-bitty triangle. Not even 2 centimeters long.
Judging from my experience with the others, its faces are possibly an indication of power. From what you've told me of its mastery of teleportation, it might be opening and closing gateways to certain pockets. And do you have any notes on this triangle?
It's been a mystery to all of us. We can't manipulate it at all from that position, and everything seems to rotate around it. You shift the bases in order to open up different pathways and call to different realm. But that piece is the only piece that is non-negotiable. It stays, it's static. And based off of all this research, the one thing somebody came up with was that was a way to attach it to something else. Like an anchor point to attach it to something. But that's just a theory.
Interesting.
So you've already discerned the amount of sides equivalates to its power.
Yes. The ones that we encountered were, at least the one I remember, I think it was like 12, I believe you said. The first one we found was 12?
The first one was 12. The second one was 8. The third one is a triangle, so 4.
Yes, so 8, 12, and 4. And this is almost, it's not exactly perfect.
Well, there's no such thing as perfect or infinite. We all know that. There's always a limitation. Alright. Well, even without tools at your disposal and wasting weeks of time trying to look over this, I can tell that you have aptitude for the research in these types of things. By the way, your tiefling brother, he has a twin, right?
Yes.
They're opposites, right? Like complete polar opposites?
Personality-wise, yes.
Right, of course. That's funny. Alright.
Have you information about Kurt?
Oh, no, there's these old stories I grew up reading about. It was kind of weird. So these individuals, these people, they were chosen to be great by some higher being, gods or some shit like that, and because of this, they were allowed immortality to persist and do whatever it is they need to do, but they would only be awakened from their slumbering states in order to help out with all of these like massive wars and battles that would occur, and just your description of your family is a little similar to some of that. That's why I figured they were twins, because there was these two ones. There was Jemin and Inni, and the two of them were polar opposites, but they were the strongest duo to have fighting any opponent. It was only the greatest champion, Kotha, who was able to best the two of them by himself. Really good stories, if you're into fiction.
Well, considering gesturing to the orb.
Well, I know, but greater gods. It's until it's proven, it's not real. That's the way we are.
Well, we have evidence that the Age of Arcanum Draconians attempted to capture said god, or at least believed in it enough to attempt such with a singularity.
That is insane to me.
Insane and riddled with horrible ramifications should it even be attempted.
And they tried to use in the diamond for that, right? Or the pyramid for that.
Yes.
Well, if only they would have known that something like that probably has zero possibility of capturing or something like that. If the power scaling is as you say, that has to be the weakest one, right?
From what we can infer, most likely because its influence is restricted to touch, and only those that are in direct physical contact with it seem to be. That being said, according to our source, the head, a war angel is trapped in there, so it has a level of power.
Right. And angels are not really that easy to capture. I mean, low-level spells that would, like a magic circle, can't really house a true angel, especially one that was given a domain like war.
Especially one that was fighting during the... I don't think we ever actually quantified this. Was it the calamity or the schism that he was describing?
The calamity.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we're not going too far back there.
No. The calamity. All right. Well, Marion, you're being released to go care for your sister while she's rehabilitating. On the record, we are going to be setting up your classes for you to begin in 1 month. That is when you're expected to be back. Off the record, we cannot expend the manpower to go out there and find you.
I understand.
He reaches into one of the drawers and hands you over a smooth whetstone by the looks of it. But when you pick it up, you see the arcane markings around the sides of it. You'll be able to talk with me thanks to that. You're limited. You can only use 75 words a day, but broken up however you see fit. It's a modified sending stone. Alrighty. Now, while you're here, is there anything we need to give you to help you out with your own studies, to help you pursue all of this?
There, for my main thesis, potentially not, but I did come across something and a few other things that I think might have merit. I start pulling out the arcane spine, my thing of residuum, and I explained to him how I I found out how Volstruckers are made.
Wait, they have residuum in the Empire.
Yes. How long, I could not know. Whether or not it's been smuggled out of Whitestone or if they have their own limited supply, I could not tell you.
Right. Well, that's a little bit of a problem, but for another day. So you need help researching some of these things. I'll set you up with a library card to go pick up whatever you need, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Our library is currently off limits to non-graduates and researchers. Even the students aren't allowed access to it right now without express permission from a professor. Hey. These fuckers attacked our home. I know your sister'll do whatever it takes to get this right, but that could have been any one of us that died here that day. Do what's right by us.
Right.
He hands you over a card, and you're able to conduct the researches that you already discussed with me about your downtime for the week. So, fast forward back over. Boop, 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 boop. Everybody's back together. You are standing inside of Zarzith Kittrell, and you were just given the information about the Eyes of the Lake and that artifact.
I gotta go to a stand by a gem real quick, guys. I'll be back.
Well, do you need to go to a stand for it? What gem are you looking for?
Anything that's worth a lot of, like at least 1,000.
What tell you? That's it? 1,000 gold gem?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
Oh, I just need it for keeping my pets together.
Together?
Yeah, if I don't have that gem, they'll run away.
I mean, we literally did just get paid, so we might as well go and get that. Also, this would be a good time for me to go check out, see if any of those Minotaur wrestlers from like last week are still around.
No,
Well, you don't want to go in there with that body; they'll fight you.
they would.
I
So
think.
you're saying Minotaur wrestlers will want to fight me in the way they know?
No, that's not.
Lilith, that oil will mess up your circuits and you will not be able to move.
Yes, he
Body
will.
oil does not actually work very well with your mechanisms. It can cause rusting. It's really bad for you.
I mean, the way the Marion described it, I mean, that's not really a turn off.
And I have to write a letter.
Well,
But yeah.
Instead of you all heading into town, I figured I could just, not to toot my own horn, I am filthy rich. I can sell you one of my gems.
Filthy rich.
That works.
Well, yes, I'm the one who paid for you to do that mission.
No, I know that. I'm just thinking, like, sorry, I have weird things on my mind right now. I was thinking about
Well,
being filthy
I figured
rich.
none of you would betray me or try to steal from me, considering I run this entire orphanage.
Right. None of us will steal anything from anyone.
None
Of
of us would
course.
even consider it.
It'd be like stealing from orphans directly.
That is good. You have a preference of gem? We have rubies, sapphires, emeralds, diamonds.
Surprise me.
I'm going to get you a pristine cut jasper. And he goes upstairs and comes back a while later, and there's this magnificently large, flat, pristine cut jasper. This red-colored gem that's completely solid. There's no transparency about it whatsoever, but it is remarkable and beautiful. And then he'll hold his hand out for the gold.
I guess can I give him my cut of the money, guys, or are we keeping that as just party loot?
Currently it's just party loot because I didn't separate it. So go ahead and we could take it out of the party loot.
Yeah. How much was it?
10,000.
10,000.
Oh, right,
so
yeah.
divided by 7. God, I can't do math
Divided
right
by
now.
7.
1 for party loot, 1 share for that.
That's
and
I always forget you're the group that actually does that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Calculator.
It'd be
1,428 gold with 0.5, so 5 silver.
So you give her
that's-
428 gold and 5 silver, and then
Yeah.
your cut's gone.
Yeah, 1,000 on that gem. I guess the rest is. Yeah, I'll send a letter later.
What can you tell us about Charis? Since it's going to be, I guess, our next town, since it's close to the eyes of the lake.
Well, they have a very elderly community out there. Decent number of Dragonborn and halflings as well from the Lotus Den, and but everybody more or less is welcome there. They're one of the only other sides that sit outside of the direct influence of the Kryn dynasty. They work with them, but they aren't official members of it.
I see.
They run off of a diplomatic program of promoting the eldest to rule over them.
Okay. Any particular rules we should be aware of? That you know?
Well, they do not haggle in coin out there. They prefer dealings in trade and goods. Coin does
Okay.
not feed you when the weather becomes harsh.
That's fair.
And they are very devout to the Wild Mother. As a whole, not everybody, but they have a mighty temple to her that sits at the center of their village.
It's good to know. It's been... So they have a Wild Mother Temple in the center of the village. They do not trade with gold. They barter and trade. She's like writing this down in like a little notebook of info for Charis. And they're outside of the direct influence of the Kryn dynasty. Do they still follow the Kryn dynasty's laws? Or...
Not as a whole. Some individuals are retired or escaping from law and rule and want to live a more peaceful life out there. They tend not to get into anybody's political issues or world issues or anything like that. They have a very peaceful community out there. One of their laws is ignorance is bliss.
I hate that saying. Anyways, well, since we're heading that way, is there anything you need, or do you know anyone who needs anything delivered?
No,
Like a letter or something?
no, not in particular.
Right.
I'm guessing the quickest way would be through the valley, or is travel over the mountain range possible to get to Charis?
Well, it is daring and dangerous, but with your access to your ghostly airship, I believe you could traverse over there no problem. You know, so long as you don't get attacked in the middle of the night.
True.
Right.
Oh,
Well, we've already seen how this ship draws quite a bit of attention, not just from people, but monsters as well. We did get attacked in the air.
I mean, we
So-
can deal with monsters easily enough, though.
Depending on the monsters. I mean, we haven't fought every kind of monster. And, I mean, I'm glad it was wyverns. They're quite stupid. And, although, yeah, well, anyway, I mean, what if there was some ancient old white dragon or something that just flew by as we Yeah, as we traverse the mountains. That would be bad.
Well, then we would try to
Oh.
fight it, and if that didn't work, we would try to seduce it, and probably have to give up Miriam's. Anyways, we'll
Billy,
Oh, speaking of dragons, when we were over in the ruins of Draconia, uh, Braun did tell us there was a clutch of white dragon eggs at the base of that tower.
That is most curious.
Right.
I
We'll
don't
ha-
know if
We'll have to conduct some research about that.
right.
Well, they should probably be destroyed.
We will discuss it as a council.
But no, make sure you do keep that singularity safe and try to only touch it using Mage Hand.
Of course, we will.
and just be careful with it, because, like, yes, there's that danger, but just a reminder, this is something that the Empire is after, so they might send agents or whatever if they learn it's here.
Well, I'm not that concerned. We're not going to release the information out other than this group, and, well, perhaps just the council and myself will know.
That's good. Perhaps one day, once the fighting is over, we can actually get time to properly study these things.
Yes. Hopefully one day. Well, you all seem to be incredibly busy with what you need to do. It's been a pleasure meeting each of you. Be sure to come through and say hello once in a while. And he'll shake everybody's hand, and Jeriel, he'll give you a polite bow.
The pleasure has been ours, Sir Velton.
Right. Indeed.
It really has.
So, where first? Just to get our plans straight here.
Jarvis.
Sure.
Then the Eyes of the Lake. Then it's off to the Ebonglass Massif. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you, Sir Velton?
About the Ebonglass Massif?
Yes.
I know a great deal about it. What is it that you need to know?
We plan on heading there for Clover's. That's the last place her dad went before disappearing.
You have to go through the north. Far Haram is the easiest place to go through from, but do not travel over the mountain range, across the Penumbra Range, or across the Blight Shore. You want to be on boat, probably from Jigao.
We were told not to go over the range. Why is that?
The Penumbra Range is, well, among the most corrupted landscapes thanks to the calamity even to this day. There are horrors and abominations out there that luckily stick to the range. There's nearly any groups that can survive passing through there. Only the sleuthiest and most careful of individuals have made it across by themselves, or with others they use as sacrifices along the way.
I see. And I'm guessing it's similar with the Blight Shore then?
The Blight Shore is unpredictable. If you choose to go through the skies, the bizarre terrain and weather out there can strike you down without a moment's notice. Gravity can reverse and plummet you to the ground without you being able to do anything. Stink clouds can open up that immediately melt your flesh into your clothing. You can have jettisons of rock and earth shoot from the ground and immediately pelt and pummel into you without notice. It is not predictable. It is not easily forecasted without a extensively experienced druid.
All right, so that changes that plan. We're not going the Blighter route. We're going to go through the Kryn
Well,
Dynasty. to get
Traveling the
Jagan.
Bright Shore is fine. It is incredibly dangerous. In the sky, it is nearly impossible.
All right. Do you know what kind of creatures reside in the Blight Shore? On the ground? I'm guessing
Abominations,
similar to the Penumbra Range then.
horrible well, not as bad as the Penumbra Range.
Huh.
The Penumbra Range has the most horrific abominations. They do not abide by the laws of our magical physics.
Oh. Okay then. And do you know what resides in the Ebonglass Massif at all?
Similar creatures, but mostly undead. Which, given, well, what I've learned from the young lieutenant here, you should be perfectly fine.
Right.
By the way, the greatest of congratulations to you, Lieutenant. Bernie, that's you.
Thank you. So, yeah. Sorry, I was
Clearly
just
not
kind
used
of,
to the title yet.
yeah, yeah. That's me. Right.
Titles grow on you like a fungus.
Thanks. I suppose. Well, I was wondering if before we leave the city, I'm kind of I've come into possession of some money recently, and I would like to exchange it. Is there a
Sure.
place I could do
you
that?
need gems? Do you need gold? Platinum?
Well, platinum would be
Sure. How much
fine.
money do you have?
5,000 gold.
So you need 500 platinum?
Yes.
Alrighty. Would you mind helping me count it?
Sure. I mean, you have it here.
Yes, of course.
I
This
mean,
is my home.
Right.
If you
sure.
feel like that's just a lot of gold to carry, why don't you just hand it to me and I'll take good care of it?
Did you install a safe inside your body?
It's fine. I'll just exchange it.
All right.
If
Oh,
you want, I can turn into bars.
that doesn't make it way less. It just makes it stack better.
It's your package.
He'll take you over into his den, closing the door, and you will be the only person who knows where his stash of gold is, Bernie.
Oh,
And then he will have your assistants counting out 500 platinum pieces.
right. I'll kill him and steal all of it.
Okay. Hey guys, we're filthy rich. Let's retire.
Yeah. That made me to just abandon all morals.
Yeah, that's fair. Money, man. You know, that just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical paladin stuff.
No, but Lily, that actually might be a good idea. Are you able to install a safe inside your body?
It came with pockets.
I mean, I've installed a lot of things in my body over the last week. A safe, unfortunately, was not exactly one of them, because currently there's like the weaponry and other spell doohickeys in there that will allow me to properly kill things that try to kill us.
That's fair. I was just thinking, well, even like a small one, you could maybe have one that like pops out of your leg, like on a drawer, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking.
I mean, I finally got my thighs to be the proper size that I want them to be, and now you're telling me you want my thighs to be thicker?
That's not what I was saying, but I was just thinking of ideas because most people. I mean, I've never seen what you are before, and I don't think other people will either. And
Go ahead.
I figured most people would probably assume that you're just more of a conjurer or automaton, and no one would expect that you'd have, again, all the magical weaponry or even a mobile safe area.
A
And
little
I'm
kid runs by at this moment and goes, "Yeah, no one would ever want to touch anything near your thighs," and just runs away. Little kids, man, they're dicks.
Like Lily can't physically cry, but you see that she's doing the like anime like on all fours, just like like
Gets
defeated.
oil and just spritz it on your eyes.
That's emotional damage right there.
That kid's
Yeah,
gonna be a bard.
Roll for that vicious mockery, Joe.
Parts for spell, vicious mockery.
I had only 2 psychic damage, not bad.
It's canon now. All little kids are a little can cast vicious
No.
mockery.
That's always
No,
been
that's
canon.
huge
All little
bullshit.
kids have always been little dicks.
Oh, capable of it. Not all of them are.
They're
It's just
all
they're
little
capable.
dicks. Alrighty. He walks out with Bernie, who now is feeling significantly lighter.
Thank you. That helps quite a bit.
You're most welcome. Anybody else need anything before you leave? I mean,
You wouldn't happen to have magic chalk, would you?
I do.
Do you happen to have a gem encrusted bowl worth 1,000 gold?
I may.
I'd take that off your hands if you can. I have 1,000 platinum or 100 platinum here.
Well, let us go look. I have quite a few different ornate bowls, and he'll go with you down into one of his halls of wonders that he has. This place is under lock and key, and apparently people can visit here, and, he'll express to you during all of his parties and such, people come through and look at, wow, this is wonderful things. Wow, these are so nice, conversation pieces. You being an archaeologist, though, roll me an investigation, and let's see if you can discern any of these valued at 1,000 gold or more.
Okay. 22.
We love 22. Wrong worship, though. One of the bowls you think is valued at maybe 1,400 gold?
Okay. Do you mind if I give you 1,000 for that, or 1,100 for that, and one of these, and I'll pull out one of my 300 gold pieces of diamond, or 300 gold piece blood diamonds.
Whoa, is that a diamond that is red? That is beautiful. I'll look at it very closely. Yeah, sure. Sounds reasonable to me.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'll hand you over this very beautiful ornate bowl that is made out of silver but is encrusted with all these various different gems and different metals that looks ridiculous.
Thank you.
Yes, of
One thing
course.
one thing about that kind of diamond is it can also be used for spells that require blood from a creature, as well as the properties of a normal diamond. So for summoning or tracking purposes.
Very good. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
I'll add it to... He just puts it on the podium you took the bowl from.
Thank you again.
Anybody else require anything?
Just how much chalk this gem circle chalk?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's like 100 GP worth. It's
Yeah,
not a
I'll-
lot. He has an emergency stash in case a mage needs to teleport him away and needs chalk, That's all.
How much of that is he willing to part with?
100 GP worth. He can
Okay, I
get
would like
more.
to-
He has access to this entire city. He knows where to get everything. You guys would have to spend a day finding shit. He's just gonna send someone out to do errands for him and do it.
I mean, he's wealthy enough to do that.
Exactly. And he's nice enough to help. Well, I believe that is all of our business. I did ask my daughter to prepare you all some finger food while you were traveling. Should be a basket over by the front door.
Thank you very much.
You all be very safe, okay?
Oh, we shall.
Thank you, Sir Velton. It's so nice to have a friend in town. When we can, we'll come and visit and all that. Whenever one thing I was wondering, whenever I get probably maybe survive this adventuring life, would you be able to help me sort of set up shop here in Zoisith?
Oh, absolutely. Us Dragonborns always take care of one another, and
Yeah.
as do friends.
Yeah, because I want to try to help get Zarzith back and onto the, the geopolitical playing field, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes. We're more than happy to have you assist us. Help us make Zarzith great again.
Sounds good.
Right. Well, I think I think Braun is capable of helping you with that as well. He seems very eager to it as well.
We will make it the greatest.
Right.
I mean, hey, if he does, he gets body for money.
I mean, that was one of the things Lily did say. If she survived this and came back, she heard he was good, she'll build him a body.
Yup. If you survive. Party goals. Very well. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Bye.
goodbye and take care.
Or, as you would say, Avita Zane, Clover.
It's a son.
The second we walk out the door, I tap Lily with Death Ward.
Ding!
What was that?
Just make sure you don't die again. It was Death Ward.
I'm not that fragile anymore. I'm literally made out of metal now.
No, but I said to your mom that I'd make sure that you'd stay safe, so you're getting that whenever we leave a safe place.
I mean, you should do that to Miriam too. I mean, look at him. He's a big old squishy person.
I'm pretty sure I can literally turn you into a puddle now.
I'm pretty sure I could literally lift you now.
Right.
Who's gonna get the move off first?
Are we going to do this thing?
Yes.
Right. There's one thing I would like to know just first, though. Natalie, if you have these two pets of yours,
The bunny wiggles its nose at you. The bat
Right.
glares.
if let's say a stray fireball explodes in your face, what would happen to the two of them? Would they be killed and sent back to wherever they came from, or?
No, they just turn back to their normal forms.
Right, so not good.
No, oh, you're asking if I died?
Well, sure. That, well, not necessarily. I mean,
But,
my concern was if they were inadvertently harmed in any way, would they be free of your bondage?
no.
All right. I suppose that's good.
In fact, if you hit them, they couldn't hit you back.
Right.
Kind
Well,
of
I
sad,
wasn't-
actually.
I wasn't going to hit them. I was just. Well, if because that one at least will definitely plot to torture you whenever if she manages to break free somehow.
That's one of her favorite words. I will say that, but no, I don't think. I don't think she'll ever be able to harm me. I've been a cleric now for a while, and I've been able to deal with the Oni pretty well. So
Right. Well,
I'm sure she won't be much different.
I never thought I would have to forsake one of the oaths I took.
If it comes down to it, I can send her back in about a second.
All I'm saying is that you've made an enemy for life by doing this.
I don't think she'll be an enemy too long.
Well,
She's gonna look at her and like try to pet the bat.
She'll snarl and move away.
well, there's. I mean, it just hubris comes before the fall. Remember that. This is hubris, not just arrogance.
Bernie knows specifically from experience, based off how prideful he is and how often that backfires in his face every time. Every time.
We all just look at Lily when you say that.
Okay.
As for I have the best intentions at heart, and I'm trying to do what's right. That's what she's gonna say about it.
This is something that concerns all of us, because I don't relish the idea of having an actual devil along with us.
But Hop's fine.
Well, centaurs are notoriously... No, not centaurs, I mean unicorns are notoriously more benevolent and whimsical.
They're both two extremes on a spectrum. As I said earlier, I'm trying to get a middle ground on both. And the only way to have a true middle ground is to have my friend here looks at the bat as well as Hop. Doesn't work if I stick to one side and one side only. Becomes extreme. And when things become extreme, they start
I know the reasoning behind it. You already told me, but I mean, it's just something that all of us have to bear in mind, that we now have a devil traveling alongside us.
You mean another one?
What? That's low. Another one?
No, that's accurate.
I'm not a devil. What are you talking about?
Lily does one of those low-key things where like she like does like a low five for Jeriel when Bernie's not looking.
Completely oblivious to the fact he's spitting truth.
I mean,
what exactly are you talking about?
Bernie, it's
your blood, your heritage.
That's maybe going a little far there, but it's what basically, Bernie. The point is just try to lighten up a bit. Yes, it's something to be careful for, but if we're careful about it, there's nothing we should really worry about in that regards, right? We're already all aware of it, so I mean, if anything, I'm more worried about those horrors and abominations we may or may not find out there.
Right, well, that's another thing, but yeah, fine, I guess we'll have to just...
At least you know about them, rather than not knowing about them.
Yeah. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it.
And we'll get Kurt for that.
Right.
Because, bridge burners.
Yeah, I got that one, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I'll try to lighten up a bit. It's just
No, you're just concerned about us, which is fine. You're concerned for the well-being of everyone here, and it is wise to have precautions for everything.
Right.
Which, let's be fair, the last month we've learned to take a lot more precautions than we did before with everything that's happened.
Right.
Natalie, Ekra will reply to you. Well, he does have a point. If I ever get out of your enslavement, I probably will try to seek destroying and killing you. And all of them. Just for punishment towards you. And you know a devil can't lie.
Can we hear when they speak to each other, or is that telepathic?
It's telepathic.
Right, okay.
I don't think you're gonna want to kill me by the end of this. That's all she's gonna say.
You are far less charming and likable than you think.
Do I have a chance to hear it because I'm also telepathic?
Are you currently reading Natalie's like surface thoughts?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Because if so, then yes.
Feet, so yeah. All right. Well, let's be off then, and just take care to safeguard so that, well, she doesn't break free.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, it's best that we be on our guard now. Anyways, we just passed the city gates. Bye, Greg.
Bye.
Greg.
Who the fuck was that automaton?
Oh,
Wait,
no,
how did
Lily's
we get to
disguised as
service
her.
again?
Okay. All right, guys. Well, now that you are entering back out into the wilds and wilderness, I think this is a reasonable place for us all to go and break, everybody. We will be right back. Hello, and welcome back, everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump back in the action, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. Interested in joining any of our games? We have open slots available. Be sure to just reach out to me and let me know. So, what path are you all taking to get over to Sharis?
The best one.
That
Aha.
Gotcha.
Over the river and through the woods.
all right. So the best one for me would be the most dangerous one, where you'd immediately have like 6 encounters. Let me map that out real quick.
So I have 2 uses of transmutation of teleportation circle.
Mhm.
Oh, so you could just get us to Draconia right away.
No, there is no circle in Draco. Yeah, I can do it to the tower. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
That'll cost me 1 use of the spell.
And from there, it's just a straight shot to Charis.
Yeah.
Okay, I mapped it out.
Jesus Christ.
The actual longest path. Why don't
No,
you
the
just
longest
go
path is
left
just
and go
going
across
that
the
way.
world? You know, like
Yeah. Yeah, because there's 3 paths. The direct
stop
one.
by Marquette on our way, guys.
Hey Clover, if you want to be true neutral, get a white dragon baby to be your primal instincts.
A white dragon, baby? I don't. We could take one of those eggs. That's a good point. We're just gonna have so many little followers.
I mean, the funny thing is like you have the good and evil with that, but then you also have law and chaos with Lily and Bernie.
Actually, yeah, you need 4 advisors, not 2.
The one time Bernie chose chaos, it got Lily killed.
That's because they're not meant to combine.
So, are you guys teleporting to Draconia and then walking across the Lotus Den Greenwood?
Sounds good to me.
All right, burning the 50 gold of chalk and a 5th level.
Alrighty. Once you arrive there and traverse down the tower, off the ledge, and make your way out of the Drimoth Ravine, you begin your journey.
I want to just while we're going through the tower for the last time, I just want to check the secret map.
Just to
For
see if
any-
there's anything hidden.
Yeah, if there's anything we've missed.
Dude, I forgot we had. That's the best
You
object.
always forget we have
We
this.
literally.
No,
always do.
I've
Tell us
not
it's
forgotten it for a
everything.
while. You guys are the one who
Roll
forget
me
it.
an investigation, Bernie.
All right.
Can I assist?
Yeah, well, I'm pulling it out like for everyone to.
Then,
my.
Oh my.
All right.
That's 20.
Look what we have here. Alright, so what'd you
That's a
get?
fine map you got there.
25.
That's what 25.
Mm-hmm.
My dick in a map. Anyways, there does not appear to be any more hidden hallways or passages. There's clearly cut ones that are inside of the Everfrost that appears to be here that you would have to cut through in order to get into those different corridors. But that would also release the beasts and security that are sealed inside. I'll leave that up to y'all.
We're good.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just continue on then.
Yes.
Have you ever gone into a bank and just used that map?
Why would I do that?
No reason.
You really do need advisors for law and chaos, don't you?
It was a joke. Wow. Okay.
You really,
Hey,
really
it's just
should
a
not
joke.
do that. That would be very bad.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
anything.
Stealing from people is bad. They work hard for their money. Even the rich people. They all deserve what they have as they've earned it. And the bat
You're
just like looks over at her.
Never,
No,
that's-
I
that's-
personally have tortured the majority of the rich people that you claim about for their crimes that your laws dictate. But they could be good.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna
You're right.
need
They
you
could
guys
be.
like.
Oh yeah, I can't hear that.
Yeah, nobody can hear except you.
I'm gonna need you guys like take a step towards neutrality. Like you take a step down, hop, and you're gonna have to take a step
I'm
up.
sorry,
back.
but I am literally a high horse.
He's so perfect. Never mind. Please stay who you are.
The bat vomits.
That's disgusting. You were on my shoulder.
Yeah, it vomited right on you.
Now it's in your hair.
Yeah, they're just gonna scream. Miriam, can you please get this off of me? Get all this crap off of me?
You're the one who wanted a pet. You need to take care of it.
Well,
He has a point.
also here's the bright side. From what I know about stuff, Marion, if you ever decide to learn the fireball spell, that's free spell components right there.
I guess
Is that really an ingredient for fireball?
Yeah, I believe that's bat guano is one of the ingredients.
It is.
Guano is poop, not vomit.
Yeah. Oh. Eh.
I'm gonna pour
We'll make it
water on
work.
myself, I guess. It's freezing out too. This is really bad.
I'll dry her off.
Alrighty.
Be right back. Dogs are barking.
Yeah. That's fine. Puppers are always priority. Anywho, as you all begin traveling, you enter first into the open plains around you. You can feel the wintry drift moving in from the mountains and from the ravine that you are leaving right now, but it doesn't seem to stick to the earth very firmly. In fact, it seems to only touch it before it dissolves very quickly. A much more tempered environment despite the cold, frosty winter you've all been experiencing so far. As you are wandering across, you travel for about an hour and a half before you look over at the Lotus Den Greenwood. These hulking large trees with reddish hulls and green large leaves, these evergreens that expand past all of them as well, fill the forest with life that you can hear and sense on the horizon. You smell the sweet, wintry scent of evergreen wafting naturally off of this greenwood, and you hear the sounds of fauna interacting with the flora wonderfully. For all of you that, well, for all of the 1 to 2 of you that likes nature, I have no idea. Jeriel, do you like nature?
It's all right.
Okay. For the one of you that likes nature in the party, this is beautiful, Tosha. For everybody else,
I also like nature. Sorry.
okay. All right, we'll give. Well, I was
I'm
just
a
saying because
doctor,
you
sir.
come from a coastline
Yeah,
with
yeah.
heat.
Yeah. That's true.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Marion goes to med school. Natalie is a self-entitled little girl. Like, Lily is the embodiment of a tech nerd.
Yeah.
It's.
But just look at my personality traits.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll give it to you. So the two of you appreciating this. I need Natalie and Marion to roll for allergies. Roll me a d20.
Oh, you.
Can I re-roll this?
I'm knee deep in embalming fluid. I think I'm immune to allergies at this point.
Natural 3.
12.
Marion, you're dealing okay. I mean, you do feel like a little itch of your nose, but you're more or less okay. Natalie, on the other hand, oh my god, your face feels so puffy. Your nose just like, you don't know if you need to blow it or if it's just draining or if it's just clogged.
I'm having a reaction to your vomit. Please never do that again.
Good to know your weakness.
Literally, it's okay.
Tosha, you notice Natalie is not dealing with the environment very well, so you know some home remedies if you care to help her with that. Do you know any home remedies yourself?
Natalie?
No, Tosha. Oh, Tosha's not here right now. Never mind.
I mean, Lily has alchemist supplies and
This is
proficiency.
not alchemy. This would be
Are-
herbalism. It's nature. This is your only weakness. Organic things.
Are you sure I can't make some vapes? Vapor rub. The Vicks vapor rub. That was
I don't
Would this
know, Natalie,
qualify as a poison or a disease?
This would be a disease.
let me just add that to flaws real fast. Pollen allergy.
So, traveling into the Greenwoods, you make it about half a day's worth of traveling before you see this doe off in the distance, who turns its head to look at all of you. The dark black eyes blink twice. They seem to become curious of all of you and wander away, not fleeing like you're used to seeing from everywhere else you've been so far in the world. It just becomes curious of you and keeps a respectful distance.
Does it look otherwise like a regular doe?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh,
I'm back. Can I roll as well?
That looks
We
like a
love
doe.
police.
Go ahead, Tolsha. 18. You've heard about the Lotus Den, Greenwood. The fauna out here are not pursued by the Lotus Den folk that reside in here. There is hunting, but it's more of a respectful hunting. It's not a culling of them. It's more of a, take out a few of them to make sure they don't overpopulate type of situation. As such, many of them this far out and this far removed aren't accustomed to avoiding people. They become curious about them, seeing them not as predators, but as co-inhabitants.
I'll relay this to everyone. They don't get hunted to such an extent that they're fearful. More curious, so don't go killing any of them.
any? I mean, there's just
unless-
three venison walking around the forest.
I can literally make food with magic.
Bernie,
Well,
don't you have
that's-
like an elk?
There's what?
Don't you have like an
We're
elk?
not eating osamusi.
No, I'm saying like get him out here. Maybe you can make a friend.
Well, sure. That's I'm.
Why was that your first thought? Eating him. Were you gonna?
Because I was focused on eating.
Are- Bernie, are you hungry?
Well, I'm always a little bit hungry.
Look, when we make camp, I'll make food and water. You can have as much of the 45 pounds of food as you want.
Well,
Lap-
no,
lap-
thanks
Yes.
like that.
Snack
I-
on these, Bernie, and Lily will give him the the spicy red hearts from the festival in Nicodranus. This candy.
Oh
You know, I did actually see those before, Lily. You're not tricking me into doing that kind of hellshroom, or what was it called?
It's literally not drugs, Bernie. This
know.
is actually just a candy. I can't do it myself anymore, so you have to do it for me. Is eating this candy.
Well, no, no. I had to learn how to stay disciplined when I go into orders. And if I didn't, I would probably be around 400 pounds now.
Yeah, Wyatt?
Oh no, I'm trying to remember the song. Yeah, sorry. My bad.
Well, but yeah, it's a good thing you reminded me about. I'll give me a moment. I'll get Azamuzi here.
Well, he
I'm
never
not-
died, did he?
So
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did die once, but not since last time I.
Okay.
Yeah.
brought
Then
him up.
all you have to do is call for him, and he will magically appear within 1 mile of you.
Yeah.
no.
Hey.
Hey, glad to have you with us again.
La.
It's nice here.
It is.
No.
Hmm.
Hello, soul or something.
Yeah, Wyatt?
Sorry, I'm trying to. My bad, guys.
So, you all continue your journey through here. At the beginning of the first evening, you have the option to rest up in the forest or fly above it on your airship if you desire. Flying would get you to Sharis before morning even comes around, which means you will not complete a long rest before you arrive there. Or, yeah, you can travel for another day and a half.
I say we camp a little bit earlier than usual, get up a bit earlier, and then fly for the remainder of the night until we can't anymore.
Honestly, probably should have just taken their time walking there.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Because this is a environment that should be very calming and peaceful, and the Lotus Den Greenwood isn't known for insanely hostile animals, just more curious.
Right.
When's the last time we actually had a proper camp and weren't ambushed by bandits, by beasts, by monsters, or have to get up and rush the next day?
I don't think there's ever been a time we've camped and we haven't been ambushed by something.
Yeah, let's just hope it hasn't turned into some fungi-infested place. Actually, yeah, there is one thing I need to tell you all about. You see, well, last week when we were back in Tal'Dorei and stuff, I did a bit of a detour, I guess you could call it. Well, I was ordered to attend a small banquet over in Whitestone. Well, you see, there's apparently we've been somewhat unknowingly interacting with this other group of adventurers who had also been trying to, I'm not entirely sure of all their goals, but they had at least been they're the ones that attacked the lair where where John died before we got there. And
did you at least deck them for not clearing it out properly?
Well, it was cleared out. It was.
She means the skull bombs, as I'm writing down Private Sanctum for camp.
Right, those. Those were a bit of a hassle. But no, I didn't. That was I mean, oversights happen, you know. But anyway, they are apparently also, not also, but they seem to be on the hunt for this leader of the Volstruckers. Trent Ickathon is his full name. And, well, they told me that he is actually a lich.
The fuck?
The fuck?
Son of a lich.
No, not the son of one. He is one. They're also concerned with these singularities and what he might do with them.
Have they come across any?
Help me, Joe. Remind me what they told me then.
They did not reveal that they had or had not, but you did not ask.
Right, true. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you would have asked them about it, right? Because that's what their Volstruckers are going for.
Well, they were. The reason I was sent there to this banquet was because, they were interested to learn what I knew of, what was going on and what the Volstruckers were seeking. So I told them about these singularities, although they did know a little bit about it, apparently. But I have, I actually have something for you, Miriam. There's this, you already know him. You know, the son of the headmistress at the Lyceum?
Miriam, Argon Lyceum. Top 5 of his class. Rumored to have graduated 4 years early by taking an exam and introducing a newfound school of magic to the Lyceum called Dunomancy. He discovered his own school of magic while researching divination and then left the school of divination in order to pursue his own interests.
He is one of the members of this party of adventurers, and he also knows how to do those fire magic with the letters and stuff. You know, the thing you do. And well, I told him that if we needed to have some correspondence, that you might, since you already know of each other at least, that you might be a kind of, well,
Go between.
connecting. Yeah. What?
Okay, that explains where he has been.
Right. So we may receive some correspondence from them from time to time, and they may have some questions also of that. So yeah. Other than that, it's not really. I don't think there was anything more relevant to us that should be known in this regard, unless I'm forgetting something.
Well, if we ever need to contact him, we could always send him a message, because you know what he looks like. Miri knows what he looks like. He was he a redhead, or did he have brown hair?
He's a Goliath. He has no hair.
Yeah.
But he does have a white beard.
Well, I was going to say, like, of our party, it's Mirren and I who know the most about them. The singularities, that is.
Right.
But-
Well, they knew of me more because I had been in contact with, well, my commander, and they kind of had more. Well, the ones who ordered me to go there had authority over me. So yeah.
Did you at least get residuum while you were in Whitestone?
No. Why would I?
It can literally replace any spell component.
Right. Well, you see, I was only there for the banquet, and I was quickly whisked away again when I wasn't needed anymore. So.
Darn. That would have helped both Mirren and I out a lot.
So, Mirian, you have now unlocked Pen Pals with a different game, the Tuesday evening game. In our Discord server, you can look up Argon and message him whenever you desire. Just be sure whatever conversations happen between the two of you, you also send to me.
So
Okay. Try to find him.
Yeah, just be aware that anything we learn about the singularities should be further divulged with their group. I'm not sure if they have a similar name for their group as the Riptides.
I mean, whatever they have as their name is probably not as cool as the Riptides.
Oh, definitely not as cool.
Should we have like a subtitle for our group, like the Riptides making waves or something? Such?
No.
I think that would be fantastic, actually.
What do you think of the name Ekra?
Ekra begins hacking up again.
No, we have a rule. Like, I don't like ordering you things. No more puking on me.
That's
Or
why you
defecating.
don't. That's why you don't bind a devil to your shoulder.
You can't hear this conversation.
You can
I
hear
see
the...
what's happening.
So, do you think the bat's going to throw up on Clover or the unicorn?
I mean, I think the unicorn would be okay with it.
Honestly, they probably forgive him.
Yeah, like I said, he'd be okay with it.
Probably swallow the vomit and fart out a rainbow or something.
That's a bit extreme. What
Isn't
do
that
you
what?
what?
Isn't that what they do? Unicorns?
No,
Right.
they vomit rainbows.
Oh, yeah, that's how.
Hey Joey, have we traveled at least a day or more, or is this like
This is still
before
the
you-
first day of travel.
Okay.
Or
okay,
no,
okay,
this
cool,
would be
cool,
the
cool.
second because you. Well, no, yeah, this would be the end of the first day, like midday because you want to sleep early to wake up early, or you're going to stay in the forest. There was 2 opinions brought up, and nobody else expressed anything.
Right. Well,
Fast
I mean,
travel or enjoy the pace.
I say enjoy the pace.
Enjoy the pace.
There we go. We're enjoying the pace.
Just gonna send my dad those coordinates for those Volstrucker seals to know if he knows where they go.
Okay.
I'll do create food and water, so we have food and water. Bland, but it's better than rations.
Why go for bland when we can have venison? All
No.
I'm saying, just one time. It's. I mean, there's a whole.
I mean, Ernie, how could you think of that? Look at those doe eyes. Look, those big old doe eyes looking at you.
Yes.
Besides, you don't shoot the doe; you shoot the stags.
Well, yeah. I mean, but don't. I mean, you can. If there's a whole bunch of does, you might need to.
No,
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we could hunt a little bit.
no. The rules are hunting are you don't shoot the does; you shoot the stags because you need the does to maintain the population. Unfortunately, for the population, stags are expendable.
Right.
To a
Okay.
point.
Well, if that's the rule, then that's what we're doing.
But we also don't know if they've recently culled lately, so.
Does anyone live out here?
Yes, at the city of Charis. This is their area.
Not a city, village.
Village
We're
of Charis.
severely overestimating their population.
Well, I mean, we're still quite far away from Charis.
Hunters can go out for several days to hunt.
Well, I know that. I've been hunting a few times in my life, but
Look, hunting for people who broke the law is different than hunting animals.
So Jeriel would be the only person more familiar with the Lotus Den Greenwood. Gorinsky, what you know about it for the population out here, you would know.
And I wouldn't worry about it too much. People hunt for food all the time.
right.
They're pretty giving, and the people there, they tend to have kind of a well, it's kind of a more communal spirit.
Right. Well, I mean, so I mean, they might even be interested in trading for, a hide of deer or antlers or some such. If they don't appreciate money, wasn't that what we?
Yes, they barter, not spend
Right.
gold. Which, honestly, they probably barter a good amount away for your inventions, Lily.
I mean, yeah, although I'm making these for us. Speaking of, here you go, Natalie. And since it's past the first day, one of the things Lily made that she's finished, it's a small whistle. And mechanically speaking, this is actually a horn of silent alarm, but it's a whistle.
Oh, this
I'll,
is kind of neat.
Yep. And Lily gives this to Natalie before, like away from outside of this other conversations and stuff. And she says, "Now here's the special thing about that whistle. See Bernie over there staring at Raimi, the doe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think about him and then blow that whistle."
I like this whistle. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna think about Bernie and blow the whistle.
And if I recall correctly, with the horn of silent alarm, so I wasn't on the D&D Beyond page for it, but it essentially, I believe, it has 4 charges. and you expend a charge, and you target a creature within 600 feet. And only that creature can hear it. So only Bernie can hear this loud whistle that's going on.
So, Bernie, there is this very loud whistle happening in the back of your head.
I'm just looking out at the wilds and what the
Immediately, the doe goes charging away from you.
what the
Bernie,
hell?
what are you doing?
What is that?
What's what?
I love this.
Didn't you hear that noise? There's
What? No, Bernie, is the air getting to you already?
no. I mean, I'm used to the wilderness. Why? So I look over at the devil on Lily's shoulder. No. I mean at Clover's shoulder. Just,
No, it's not shoulder now with that action.
Might actually have smiled. Might have cracked a grin for half a second.
something going on here.
Thank you, Lily. My dad actually had a whistle, but that's because somebody gave it to him in case he got in danger. And I just reminds me of him a little. Thank you.
I mean, the reason I'm giving this, and I'm actually making one for everyone in the group, is so if anything happens, we can, if we're close enough at least, we can, let each other know without having to, use magical powers or yell or whatnot. That, and it's also really fun to mess with Bernie. I'm not telling him about these until I give him his.
What? Miriam's the only one here that uses magic.
Like literally everyone goes.
Even the doe that ran away comes back and looks from behind the tree.
You know I can hear you, right? I'm standing right here, Lily. What exactly was this thing?
Oh, it's a whistle that only the person you think of can hear.
That only you can hear, Bernie.
Bernie can hear.
So you know what a dog whistle is, right? This is a Bernie whistle.
She just
What
told
about
me.
Better Bernie?
Yeah, where is Better Bernie? I haven't seen him in a while, actually.
I left him with Auntie Fire, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
By the way, the deception was for the whistle thing, not for the Better Bernie.
All right.
Oh, you knew better.
You need to change up your prank book there, Lily.
Well, I mean, I can only do so much short of killing him.
That would be a funny prank. Oh, sorry. That would be a funny prank.
I know, right?
That's when you speak.
Right. Wouldn't want you to get any salt in those ears of yours, Lily.
I don't have any ears anymore, Bernie.
Any ears? What?
Anyways, let's call it a night, everyone.
Alrighty. So,
Standard watches.
Right.
you all spend a night in the wintry forest inside of the Lotus Den Greenwood. Very calm, peaceful location. And some of you begin to grow at least an appreciation for this. The calmness of it. The fact that there's nobody bothering you. There's nobody looking to pull one over on you. There's no imminent threat. It's just the wilderness. It's the only place for some of you you've ever been to where you feel like your life just isn't in danger. It's almost as calming for a couple of you as your childhood beds. But morning rolls around, and you all continue your journey.
Oh, I thought we were doing watches because Natalie was going to wake up Bernie.
Okay,
What you-
watches. Go ahead, Natalie. Wake up Bernie.
Sorry, guys. I told you I was going to do this.
worries.
I feel like you do not I'm gonna wake up Bernie and say, I want you to sit in on this.
Right. What exactly?
Well,
Summoning another devil, are you?
no, I'm gonna be talking to them, but I want you to trust me, and I feel like you don't trust me, and maybe this might alleviate some of your fears.
Well, it's not that I don't exactly trust your intentions. I do think you have good intentions, mostly. Though you're a bit of a wild card, right? Anyway, I just think sometimes you might be a little. Well, I know this sounds a bit rich coming from me just after. Well, you know what happened with Lily and all that, but seems
Rash.
a bit rash. Yes.
I thought about it for a long time, and I thought it was the correct conclusion. I wouldn't have done it. Like I said, I'm really trying to do this correctly. But here, I want you to sit on this. Let's go over to where. Oh, did you see how Lily sleeps? She just stands there. So I like to sit next to her and pretend she's awake.
Right. I need to get used to that still, actually. Do you think she would notice if we started painting things on her?
I really like this idea. See, already warming up to it. Okay, but yeah, no, I have to talk to these two real quick, and I think you actually might appreciate this conversation.
Right.
Hop and Ekra, who hasn't picked her own new name yet, you guys can speak freely, in front of people, not in my head.
Oh, sorry, I was sleeping.
Also, I would prefer if you both took humanoid forms for this.
As a unicorn, I can't.
Oh, never mind. I thought that was a possibility. What about you?
Ekra turns into the very, very attractive tiefling naked woman.
Okay, put on some clothes.
I'm just gonna turn around for a little bit.
And she stretches outwards, looking very comfortable right now. As a succubus.
Okay, put on some clothes.
Or sorry, not a succubus. She's the other thing. My bad.
I'm gonna throw the lead-lined robes at her.
You throw them at her, and she just tosses them onto the ground and leans on it. What?
Please put those on.
Why?
You're just nude, and obviously it's making him uncomfortable.
What? You've never seen a naked woman before?
I have.
Well then. She just mockingly gestures at herself. Then there's no problem. Go ahead.
Right.
Please don't make me order you to do it. Put on the robes.
Well, I can still have a conversation with my back turned. It's
She puts on her robes now.
You like this? Okay. I've been thinking about this a lot, how the upper planes are filled with celestials and gods. They have some sort of over-rulership, and the lower planes are filled with fiends, and they are also have some sort of leadership. But there's nothing, when it comes to the middle planes, there should be something that balances out. Because if we say the upper planes are all good and the lower planes are all evil, middle planes should be that balance. But I found, at least in 17 years I've been alive, that it's not the case. In fact, it's closer to chaos. It's closer to the abyss than anything else. And over the past 6 months now, I've been thinking about this a lot, and it's not correct. At least not what I feel like it was designed to be. And I think you might have more of an opinion on this one, looking at Ekra, than you do, Hop, but there's no middle ground where there should be. And I want there to be that middle ground. I want to help create that middle ground. And I don't know where to even begin or what would be something that's that middle ground. Like, we don't have paragons or higher beings in this place. The closest thing I can think of is a dragon, maybe. Like, but we don't have something that the Celestials have or the Fiends have. Is this making sense to either one of you?
I think I'm following along. Yeah.
Well, why? Or is there something?
Well, the Middle Plains. That is where things are created.
Okay. But
Chaos, in and of itself, is creation. And
But-
nothing, well, there are gods that rule over creation, but the Middle Plains are left to their own devices because they have not wanted rulership, and to rule over chaos is to destroy what chaos really is.
But see,
Oh,
that's
your
where-
stupid little philosophical infant mind.
But that's where I think that differs, because that's not true. If we didn't want leadership or rulers, we wouldn't have cities and we wouldn't have people worshiping gods.
Is it because...
And the inverse of worshiping fiends or devils as well.
Let me ask you something, little girl. Do you think there is leadership because people need leaders, or is there leadership because people need to be a leader?
I think it's the first part. People need guidance.
Guidance, sure, but leader? Someone to force them into servitude? I mean, there's always going to be something stronger, something bigger, something badder. So you have no choice but to bend the knee to them. That's what
Might
ruling is.
Might
Sounds
I
like-
interject something?
Yeah, feel free to speak.
Right. Well, I think leadership is just a natural result of the fact that humans, mortals, have to cooperate in order to get things done. Leadership isn't the same as rulership.
That's where I was gonna mention too. You made it sound like it's more of a survival aspect in that when you pose that question, Ekra, but I liked where your head's at.
You can believe what you want. But the creatures in charge are in charge because they are stronger, they have more power, and they desire to be. Desire is progress. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't want to be bigger, you don't want to be stronger, you'll become boring, static. And in those middle planes, they do not ever bend the knee. There's nearly even a mortal that can survive traversing across them easily. Sure, there's locations on them where there is rulership, but those are small. They don't rule the plains. They rule a territory, a city, a castle.
I don't want to be a ruler. I don't want to be a tyrant.
Then what are you doing, girl?
I want to help people.
Donate to an orphanage.
I kind of already did that. You'd actually be kind of proud of me for that one.
Oh, I want to hear so much about the orphanage. Please don't make me boff in this form. I will.
Is that like your go-to move? Okay, never
Now
mind.
that I know it bothers you so much, absolutely.
Well, I was thinking more, what if there was something that was from the upper planes and lower planes? Is there anything like that?
Oh, heavens. I don't believe so. Really?
Why? That's what happened with the heavens first sent people down to the hells, and that's what created, look over at Ekra, first devils. But they were
Yeah.
there to fight the abyss, I think. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention in
You
school.
clearly didn't pay any attention. There's only a handful of us devils that were once angels. Very few of us, in fact. The majority of us were created in order to guard your pathetic mortal realms from the abyss.
Well, do you like these pathetic mortal realms?
It keeps me busy day to day, where I get to torture all of your bastards and all of your sinners and all of your disgusting, vile creatures.
Well,
You know, barely any of you mortals actually get to go to heaven, right? Very few.
that's disconcerting. This is getting off topic though, but I was more asking, what is that middle ground? Like, is there anything, or is this like just false hope?
There are creatures that are born with fiendish origin and celestial origin.
What are those?
Well, by your little horned friends' ideals, abominations. I would never call any creature of creation that. But by
Why?
our standards, they are outside of many of the laws that bind both of us. There's very few of them, you see. You have to get a incredibly powerful devil and a very powerful individual with celestial blood to mate. And as you can imagine, the two groups don't usually coincide very well.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it would last very long. Like the family.
It rarely ever does. As far as I'm aware, there's only maybe a few of them in all of existence. Or there was.
Do you know? So you know some?
Oh, not personally. I'm aware. But the interesting thing about them, they choose not to do with either side.
That's a point, isn't it?
No. What is the point to your existence? Why were you born?
I've asked that question once or twice. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think it was for this.
You were born, in particular, much differently than he was born. He, I can see, and I believe, was born out of experimentation. Curious.
Wait, can you see who my mother is?
No, of course not. I can just sense what things you're tied to. Lower creatures can't really sense what we can. There's other layers and dimensions that we understand that you can't. And, well, your friend right there, the hulking, definitely not a devil over there, was created, not birthed. Well, perhaps birthed, but more of an experimentation. Curious.
No, I was born.
Sure. Whereas you, my unfortunate little child, you were created in order to, well, change things. Ekra, that's not... She doesn't need to worry about that. Oh, I think she should. You see, I was not lying before. You are either going to be the destruction of something beautiful, or you are going to be the creation of something boring. Or You're gonna die a horrific, torturous death trying.
I really like that word torture. It should have said Ekra the torturer, but it said Ekra the speaker. In fact, though, you are speaking, though, so I'm very happy because you weren't speaking earlier. But
Yes, I enjoy telling you this, though, girl. You feel that little racing of your heart where you're not sure if you can do it? That's because very few of you ever do. Very few of you are ever successful. Most of the time, you destroy everything around you. And that's just how you were created. You cannot blame anything aside from the fates themselves and divinity.
the divines have like a hand in this. Why?
Why indeed? My theory is they get bored. That is... No, it's not out of boredom. Really, then what is it? Mortals have to change things for themselves. So what, you force a mortal to be capable of doing this, and then you just expect them to do, well, either the right thing or the wrong? Yes. So maybe it's not mortals' faults that they're all such disgusting sinners. Maybe it's your fault.
Clover, just remember who you're talking to here. I mean, this is...
She can't lie.
I know, but she can still be manipulative.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah, good. Remember it always. But what is your purpose, your intent behind this? I mean, this entire discussion, what is it you're trying to achieve here?
I'm trying to figure out what... If I go through with this avatar ritual, I'm not going to be entirely there. Might be look like me, but I don't know if that's going to be me anymore.
Right.
And-
So, am I to understand that you want to become some sort of hybrid of angel and devil? Or
They're not a
some sort of-
hybrid, they're Nephilim.
I want to work towards whatever Nephilim is.
Well, sweetheart,
Oh.
a Nephilim is born. You were created.
Keep saying that. I don't understand what you mean by that, because you said he was an experiment.
Yes, as he was.
I know my father was the experiment.
And who had a hand in creating you? Do you not believe your disturbed father would do something so heinous as to try to produce offspring that were better? Do you think it's a coincidence that you and the other ones who have that same lineage as you all possess something more? You have to admit, a family this extraordinary? That's unheard of.
Yeah, there have been extraordinary families many times
Name one.
through history. Well, I'm not much of a history nerd.
Derulos.
Yeah, those.
Really, the entire family is extraordinary?
Well, I mean, no, I mean they're
They're prestigious. They're entitled, maybe, but you cannot credit them all with extraordinary. Hell, even the one that created the legacy of their family. You know how he did that, right? Demons. That's not extraordinary. That's someone who chose the most foul creatures in order to empower themselves.
well. If I were to sort of, it seems to me, Clover, that you want to change things about the world, right?
I want to fix the Empire.
You want to fix the Empire.
It's my home. You guys
I-
seem like you're bent on war, but it doesn't have to be a war.
I understand that, and I don't relish war either. But well, the way I see it is, individuals aren't necessarily meant to be the ones that greatly affect the whole course of history. That is something all of us mortals should be left to do. I mean, all of us through our small everyday actions, not through overly magical greatness or anything like that. I mean, every time there's some really powerful person that achieves power, they either use it for their own gain, or they inevitably turn into some sort of not necessarily tyrant, but some sort of, well, ruler.
Right. See? This one knows things. You should listen to the wisdom of your elders, child. He just admitted it. Someone born of power usually goes one of two ways. Actually, the third one isn't written in stories. You implode, destroying those you care about closest to you.
You said, and specifically you. Actually, at this point, Clover's going to look at Bernie. Thank you. I appreciate your advice. And she's now going to speak in Agro's head, because this is going to be telepathic. You said, specifically you, when you met me, that you... Actually, I guess Hop will also be added to this.
Yeah, three-way call.
Yeah. That if you were put in my position, you'd be able to do it correctly. And you've seen it happen multiple times. I love three-way. And that give you control of it, which I know would be wrong to give you control of it, so I don't want to ask. But what would be the correct course of action to not implode, be a tyrant? I just want to make things better.
Well, that I can't tell you, because I do not know what your trials will be. Maybe you're supposed to help with this war. Maybe you're supposed to stop it before, well, the inevitable genocide of an entire class of people happens.
There's a cancer growing in the Empire.
Yes, it is. And you know the easiest way to take care of a cancer, right? Cut it. See, little girl, you are weak. You do not take the initiative. You do not do what is necessary. If I held to you a young woman, and I said this woman is going to destroy your home in 15 years, you would talk to her. You would try to convince her not to. You would try to be her friend, and inevitably lose your home in 15 years. What a strong person would do would slit her throat and let it spill into the ground.
I think ruthless and strong are two different things.
If there is a cancer, you cut it.
I agree with you on that.
Why are we even having a conversation about this?
Is this still just their three-way?
She's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Bernie, you can always just like, bing, in there, but...
yeah. I'm just...
Yeah.
Standing by for a moment.
Emotional
It's
support paladin.
It's destroying my home, my friends, my family.
Then do something about it.
That's what I am doing. And don't ever say I don't take the initiative again. I brought you here. I left my house when I was 14 to find my father. I've done a lot.
Where's a
You know
bard?
nothing about me.
Where's a bard when you need a violin?
Clover, I'm not sure what you're all
Oh,
discussing over there.
we're just having intimate eye contact. Don't you like Hop's eyes?
Hop blinks at you
Right.
twice.
Yeah,
Goes,
Hope is very, very nice. But I wasn't quite sort of finished with my earlier argument. There was, well, if you could change, no, well, if I could change one thing about this world, it would be strengthening the borders between the planes, so there's fewer extraplanar influences on our world.
And stop worshiping gods.
Well, that's not exactly the same thing,
Isn't it?
no. You see, well, it boils down to one question that's I've actually been sort of contemplating a bit recently myself, which concerns free will and the question of fate.
It's non-existent if fate exists.
That's my take on it as well. And I do believe that we have free will. We mortals have free will. These creatures, celestials and fiends, they don't. That's our fundamental difference. We are capable of changing our own fates. They are not. And so, if our world is to be ruled by mortals who have free will, then it shouldn't be influenced by external forces that don't have free will.
Hop, do whatever you'd like.
Okay.
Free will is something they both can have. I'm not going to give her it, obviously, but this is the most free both of them have ever been, despite her saying I have enslaved her.
Well, my point is they aren't free of their own innate nature.
I guess that's what it boils down to.
That is what defines their will.
Give me something to think about. Thank you, Bernie.
Well, you're welcome. It's actually, well, I'll tell you the reason why I've been thinking about it, because I'm concerned about whether or not I myself have this free will because of, well, my heritage, this infernal influence. I don't rightly know if I'm mortal, or fully mortal as I should be, at least. I'm not sure if the choices I've made in life is because of my blood or my own will.
I don't think any of us have an answer for that.
No, and I want to know. So I'll let you know what my sort of, my personal goal is, and well, I haven't really quite decided, but you remember when you went to that asylum, right? There was another tiefling there, and that doctor.
Yes.
They came to Pride's Call, and I spoke with them for a little bit. And I know that they wanted to see if it was possible to purify her, Aojabe, that's her name. Purify her body from that blood, her tiefling ancestry.
That's extreme.
Well, if this world is meant for mortals, then what is my place in it if I'm not fully mortal?
Uh, Bernie, you are completely mortal. You have the most free will that any creature in the realm has. You were sure not completely mortal, but a little dash of that blood doesn't change what you are.
Thanks. It's something I'm thinking.
Same with all of your siblings. Despite how you were made, you're all perfectly mortal.
So what exactly does that mean? Despite how we were all made.
Uh, yes, what does it mean, little furry friend? Oh, well... We said how we can see different dimensions, right?
Yeah?
Well, the night each of you were conceived was powerful nights, and rituals were put in place to attempt magics that were imperfect. Kind of like oh, I don't... Go ahead, say it. Say it, please. I don't want to say it.
What is he speaking about, Echo?
As a fiend, I am forbade to ever talk about such a thing.
You don't have to follow those rules anymore.
Yes, I do. You are not more powerful than the laws of the universe, little girl.
Yet. Please say it, Hop.
I really don't want to. And you see Ekrid looks thrilled at the prospect of this.
Why don't you want to?
I don't want any of you to think differently or act differently. Just be yourselves and be happy.
Do you want the answer, Bernie?
I don't know. Let's take a moment and think about things, not be rash, as I told you earlier.
Hop, I want you to tell me the answer. You don't have to tell Bernie.
Then Hop will telepathically communicate to you. And, if anybody is curious, please look away from the stream because you will see it.
I'll just type a bunch of stuff. Send it.
I'll just take off my headset. I'll just be over here looking at the nature. Oh, well. I can still have my headset on.
Oh, Lily, ignore that. Lily, ignore that. There we go. That was the wrong person. I apologize.
It's okay.
Whisper, Clover. Okay, you changed your name like 6 fucking times.
That... You guys just know that?
We can see. higher class beings can see things that none of you can perceive.
This has been a very big learning session for me.
Isn't
Thank
it
you both.
interesting? Now, what are
It's
you
not-
going to do with that knowledge? And she's saying this out loud. Are you going to reveal it to all of them and maybe destroy who they think they are?
If you want to know, I'll tell them.
Let's see what the consequences are.
Why couldn't you say that?
It goes against our nature to directly influence or divine the future, past, or legacy of mortals. We are not allowed to look at that. Or else we would know who would commit heinous crimes and be able to act upon it before they do it. Imagine if every murderer was captured by a fiend before they murdered and then tortured to death. Make the world a better place.
You might have just told me your greatest power that you both have. Thank you.
And Hop goes over to you, Bernie.
What?
Please know that you are yourself, okay? And you are special in your own way, and you have free will.
Right, thanks.
Okay.
And it'll boop you with its horn.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll. It would be more reassuring, no offense, but if it came from someone who's unable to lie.
Hop, can you lie?
I would never.
So you can.
Well,
funny.
technically, I wouldn't.
It's funny, kind of. The Celestial can lie, but that fiend can't.
It's not very fair.
It's not fair at all.
What are you talking about? It's perfectly fair. If we were allowed to lie, we'd rule this realm. And
You
every
can
other
lie.
one. I can't. Little girl, you are not more powerful
That
than
right
the
there.
laws.
That right there, that was a... Never mind. I'm not going to get into this. Never mind, you can't lie. Also, no more doing exactly what you want to do. Sorry, Hop.
It's okay. And then it immediately comes back over to you and sits down.
Well, if he's able to do exactly what he wants to do, then isn't he able to not obey you?
That's why that's why I took that back.
Right.
See, that's the only thing that's binding them. That's why they're freer here with me than they'll ever be in heavens or hells for her. Hop just wanted to comfort people.
I give you free will. All right, let's make sure everyone's doing okay.
Right. Well, you see, Clover, this is why I think there should be fewer influences on our world from external forces.
I think we seek out external forces for guidance or influence. I don't think that's a possibility that we break away from them.
Guidance is one thing, but well, the reason I take issue with your argument about not believing in any divines is that, well, if my will is still my own, then then it's not the divines that influence me. It's my own choice whether or not I take the actions I do. It's just they are ideals to follow.
But shouldn't we find those ideals in people? And that's why my point's been. We shouldn't have to look something higher than us. It should be here. It should be on this area.
Well,
and I agree with you that, yeah, we should not have an outside influence from anything. But unfortunately, that's also not the world we live in.
no. Well, that's why proposed it as a hypothetical. It's what if I could change one thing about the world, then that would be it.
Thank you. You've given me a lot to think about. My watch is almost over. Wow, this took a while.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good night, okay?
Yeah. Try not to accidentally blow that whistle while you sleep. Or I might just have to break it one day.
Clover's gonna look at Ekron and Hop. I'm gonna make you guys a deal. When I do not need advisors anymore, what I just did for Hop, I will offer to both of you, where you have true freedom. But you don't have to go back to the hells, and you don't have to go back to the heavens. But I need you guys to work cooperatively with me. Do we have a deal?
I will do anything it takes in order to help you. I would rather see you suffer.
That didn't really answer my question, but...
Oh, sorry. No. I'll get to go back to my home realm one day when I inevitably die, or when you inevitably die and no longer control me. Then your soul will be so delectable. I wonder who I'm going to have to trade. Who will have control over your soul? Oh, curious.
That's the other thing. Why do we go to these different planes? Anyways, that's a conversation for another time. I'm going to bed. Please don't be a woman by the time we wake up. Just be an animal or something, like a small one. I think you'll freak out Lily. She doesn't trust strangers. I'm going to be quiet now.
Perfect. Okay. And Hop just, like, cuddles you while you sleep.
All right.
Now, because you said please, when everyone wakes up, Marion, there's a naked woman lying by the campfire. Lily, there's a naked woman lying by the campfire.
Oh yeah, no, Lily knows. I whispered you that
Oh,
thing. Right?
I apologize. Yeah. Tosha.
I probably
I'm
wake
the
up
one
next.
waking them from since I'm taking the watch before.
Sure.
Yeah. So, don't mind the naked devil lying over there.
Right, I don't mind at all.
You know what?
Kind
I'll
of hard
wave.
to ignore.
I'll wave back because I know exactly who she is.
So does Lily.
Me just staring because this is the first naked woman he's ever seen.
She'll just, like, smile. First time.
Oh, you dropped something right behind you, and Lily's saying that in an attempt to make her stretch to basically mess with Miriam more.
She's
by-
just lying there staring at
Okay.
Marion, making him deliberately feel uncomfortable.
And I want to cast blindness, deafness on Miriam. Do you accept it?
I'm kind of stunned, so go right ahead.
And blind.
Better alternative.
Yeah, what?
Oh, you're no fun. She'll look over at you, Clover, and then turn back into her bat form.
Why'd you take off the robes?
Well, I
no.
wasn't cold.
Oh, Miriam, you're missing out. She's stretching, and oh wow, that's oh my.
Lily,
And
enough that you're probably full of shit. And some other manure to maintain your head.
Well,
So
I'm
the-
gonna go take a quick nap while you guys make breakfast, okay?
All right.
so, Lily, do you want to find out what happens if I do create destroy water and it's salt water?
I'd like to see you try.
He grins. Don't constantly tease Miriam. He's had I don't think this is the first time you'd ever imagine seeing a naked lady.
Yes, it was. I can tell.
Yes, it was. I already know.
Okay, guys, no more talking to people, just in my head again.
Oh, come on, Matt. Look, I think you should let it so they can talk to us when we're just by ourselves.
That's even
I mean, look.
scarier. Like the bunny just says, "No one will believe you," and says,
Exactly. Hey, look, that's fun chaos. That's the kind of one where you mess with someone and they have no idea if it's true or not.
If nobody else is around, you may talk to one person individually.
I mean, here's the thing: if you only do fun chaos and not every chaos, then is it really chaos, or is it just something that you abide by and whatnot? And is that really chaos at all?
I don't know. Ask the Fae.
So, Miriam, while you're sitting there, Hop comes over to you, bounces onto your lap. I hope you don't feel too uncomfortable. I know your first time can be very tedious, but everybody goes through it.
Am I being comforted by a jackalope?
Yes. Just know you have nothing at all to be ashamed of. It's natural. For mortals.
Bernie's just sitting nearby trying to get a nap, but he's just giggling to himself. I can't do this. I'm gonna go for a jog around over there.
Yeah. Miriam, if you need some private time like Bernie does to, after seeing that, go ahead. We'll go the other way.
It's natural. And the rabbit hops off your lap. The biology major is told about biology.
Well, Edgar, I hope you're proud that that's the first image that's going to be burned into his mind for the rest of his life.
Sorry for ruining every other mortal for you.
Oh, you loved it.
All right, at this point, Miriam's just digging into his books. He's trying to block out what the fuck is going on.
Alarm spell!
Accidentally finding Lily's porn books instead.
Oh no.
No, Lily keeps those in other. Well,
Contemplating whether or not you can use modified memory on yourself.
Let's be real, Lily. You would totally hide porn books inside of his books.
No, that's what I was realizing. Yeah, you know what? Just if only to mess with him.
Yeah, Lily's like series of bovine beauties.
Well, if
you know exactly that would be what hers would be.
This anatomy book is getting real in depth about some stuff.
Already?
Okay,
Nice.
that was a fun way to wake up in the morning with a laugh.
Alrighty. So, you all continue your journey. For the better part of the day, you wander through the Lotus Den Greenwoods, heading closer and closer over to Shares before you inevitably come across it. The chilled landscape all of you are experiencing right now is cold and significantly that, but nowhere near as bad as it was in Zarzeth Kittrell. It does seem the winter has reached this far northwards as well from where all of you previously were. Now, as you arrive, you look over at this very small, quaint community. Maybe 1,000 people live here in total. Vast majority is halfling and dragonborn, but you can see other walks of life of individuals passing through here, including humans, who you have not been seeing very often since you entered into Xhorhas. You see that there is a beautiful canopy of trees that separate the, well, guarded living on the floor from individuals who seem to have more peace living high up. As you are walking underneath all of these canopies, you see the long vines that stretch down from them, the little ladders that are hooked to the trees to allow you to climb up, and you all see that there is a mighty treetop temple. As you are walking up, you take note that there's a halfling who wanders closer towards you all. Woman, looking fairly young, who just looks at you all curiously. Before you come any closer, who are all of you?
We're the Riptides, making waves.
No.
Really? That's the one you're going with?
We already said we're not adding.
You're the ones
subtitle.
who insisted on this stupid group name, so I'm.
I feel like you were
leaning
supposed
into
to
it.
strike a pose after you said that.
Well, did you see my cloak flutter?
Cloak of bellowing.
God damn it.
Oh.
Thank you, Lily.
Bellows behind you.
Lily cast Dispel Magic. No, I'm kidding.
Worst creation ever. Anyways,
But
so you're adventurers, right? Where do you hail from?
We just came from Zarzeth.
Where do you hail from?
Well,
Uh,
I'm from Tal'Dorei.
Tal'Dorei.
Yeah, Menagerie Coast, Tal'Dorei. Mine's a bit little complicated.
Looks at you, Natalie.
Oh, she's gonna. Yeah, no, she's not gonna say something yet. Around and about.
We don't appreciate people that are deceitful around here. We're a peaceful community. We have no interest in other places' affairs. Just tell us who you are. And she pulls out a twisted log staff and kind of just props it onto the ground. And you notice as the tip of it touches, the grass spreads outwards into a tiny arch.
Clover from Zadash.
Empire.
Yeah.
She puts the staff over her shoulder and wanders up to about your knee in her height. Have they started recruiting children into their army?
Do I look like a soldier?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a clerk.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It wouldn't surprise me if they did, but I don't think they've started that yet.
That would be
They wouldn't do that.
disgusting.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, she's not in any way affiliated with the official empire.
Good. My name's Etsy. Pleasure to meet you all.
Etsy?
Etsy.
Nice.
Pleasure to meet you too, Etsy.
One of the patrol guardians around here. Just making sure the place is safe.
Right. Well, I mean, if you know, safe. Well, as you know, we're adventurers and stuff. One of the reasons we came here is we're trying to go to one of those islands out in that lake there. Do you know any like boat that could take us there, or how dangerous that might be?
Well, you're not really going to find any fishers that are willing to sacrifice their boat heading out there, especially now that the Fever Gulf, has a recent resident inside of it.
What does that mean?
The lake, the Fever Gulf. The lake
Right,
that
oh.
encompasses the eyes. And
What do you mean, resident?
Yeah, that's.
there's,
Is this Resident Evil?
You son of a
go. Go now.
all right, that's a forced mute for 5 minutes, Bernie.
Does this resident have a cane?
Oh, that's just as bad. Actually, that was worse. Anyways. Well, there's a group of people who released a kraken into the lake and have been trying to tunnel it out into the ocean so it can keep growing.
Kraken.
It's already exceeded its size limits in the lake.
Wait, so
So
you're
the
saying that we
lake.
have the opportunity to kill a kraken?
Well, it's everything north of the eyes. Well, and also west and east and a little bit to the south sometimes when it wanders. It's really big. So, you're not going to find a lot of fishermen that like leaving the shoreline further than 150, 200 feet, you know?
Why did they release the Kraken? We're trying to?
They're worshippers. Hey,
Oh, it's
takes
that
all
kind.
kind, you know?
Of what faith? Like, look,
The
I'm
Kraken.
not...
Yeah.
No,
They're...
I was told that it's called Kraken.
No. That's an ale. Or a whiskey.
No.
God damn it.
I could go for some whiskey, actually.
Yeah, no, our main goal is to get to the eyes of the lake. I'm on a task from the god I worship to find a holy symbol there.
Oh. You're not more worshippers of that, right? Because, like, I don't really want to slaughter more people.
No,
No.
she doesn't worship a kraken.
Oh, okay.
No, I
I
worship Mama Vusi,
I don't know who that is.
the god of love.
Oh. That sounds real hippie, says the druid.
So this, sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there.
Yeah, no problem.
You say there are people coming here to worship this Kraken?
Ah.
Well, to the north, yeah. They've released it into the lake, and they're trying to get it out into, the open waters, so it can keep growing.
There's some kind of cult?
I mean, that's how I would describe them. They would describe themselves as lawful servants of their lord, the Kraken.
I mean, technically speaking, every religion is kind of a cult. It's
No.
just like usually, technically speaking,
That's
it's
a
just,
really
You're wrong.
interesting philosophy. The druid pulls out this long cylindrical tobacco-looking pipe and then lights a flame with their thumb and begins puffing it. It's an interesting philosophy.
Thank you. Lily likewise brings out her pipe of smoke monsters.
And now that you don't have lungs...
Oh!
Use the ventilation system in her body to
You have
Pretend to
bellows instead of
smoke.
lungs. And also along the way we heard an interesting rumor of people trying to head to the eyes and look up for an object of magical importance.
I mean, many people have tried, but a lot of people have died on their way out there. You know, first you have to deal with the waters of the lake, which are treacherous in and of themselves. There's giant sharks. There's a lot of angry squid. At one point in time, there was a hag who inhabited out here, but she was killed. Other stuff like that, you know? But even once you get onto the lake, there's these, like, rough creatures that are just, Jorhas.
Right.
I have a quick question. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, could you tell us a bit more about the eyes of, like, what the land is like over there, or history of them?
Well, yeah, get that handout out. So, the two islands are referred to the eyes because they kind of are positioned to look like the eyes of the lake, if you bird's eye view. Oh, I'm sorry, none of you can be birds, I guess. I'm sorry about that.
It can.
That's... There you go, brother. Holds up a fist bump. Your fist dwarving hers, like literally the size of a dwarf compared to her fist. And the waters are scolding out there the closer you get to the island. Like, you do not want to touch them or you're going to start burning up real fast. The banks of the lake have this layer of strange minerals and stones of all colors that are really alluring, but the muck can sometimes trap you and drown you down there. It doesn't really let go of you once you get stuck inside. But the old story is there was once a thriving community that lived out there who worshipped, ages of old, and, well, yeah, the community fell. Some twisted events happened. The woods and leaveless nature out there is just ominous. I don't like it.
Huh.
Quick question. I just sorry, rewinding a bit back to the Kraken. So these people, they worship it and stuff, and they released it into the lake. Why not just release it into the ocean? So then they wouldn't have to worry about trying to dig it out into the.
It was once in a, as far as I found out, talking to the people I killed, it was underground, right, in this large canal, and it feasted down there on many of them until they started obeying it and gathering people and sacrificing them to it so that they didn't get eaten as a community, and then it got annoyed and said that it wanted to be released, so they dug and tunneled all the way out until they released it into the lake, and now that it's in the lake, it's gotten bigger over the past, year or so, and yeah.
Like on a scale from like, literally gives like a rough measurement to like a bigger, like basically a measurement of a house to a measurement of a block. How big would you say it is?
Oh, it's big. It's weird. It doesn't stop growing. It just fills up the space that it can fit inside of.
Huh.
Don't worry. These guys have been trying to find a way to like break the canals that lead out into the ocean. And, well, every time one of us sees them, we just kill them. They're kind of like,
Cockroaches?
I don't want to be disrespectful to them, Like, that's just...
you can be...
No, like, they're oppressed people, right? That were forced into working out of fear for themselves and their own kind, It's unfortunate that they chose the path that they've chosen, but I personally can't blame them for that. I never experienced what they've experienced,
I mean, yes, but at the same time, now that's in the lake, they have the exclusive option to walk away on land and get the heck away.
Yeah, yeah. If only they would listen. But generations of breeding,
Mm-hmm.
So I have a book on monstrosities. How stupidly powerful is a kraken?
Roll me a nature check. Reading through your book.
Can I make like a religion check to see if a kraken can be banished to like a home plane?
No, you cannot make a check like that.
Darn.
What'd you get? 17? In theory, krakens envelop whatever environment they fill. So typically you find them closer to shorelines because the deeper in depth you go into the ocean, they no longer maintain status of apex predator. There are scarier things in the depths of the ocean that mages cannot survive in than krakens. But as far as the threat goes, they are substantial. They are destroyers of coastline cities. They are enjoyers of inhabiting different territories and causing havoc and destroying everything they touch for generations. Like, they're nothing to sneeze at, and usually there has to be a specialized group of people to come in and kill them.
By specialized, do you mean adventurers?
Something like that, yeah. The Slayer's take would usually be called out if there's a kraken sighting that needs to be handled.
Well, it seems to me like, if your people are afraid for, borrowing out their boats or some such, we can make a trade of favors.
Well, no one ever said that we're afraid to borrow out our boats. Our fishers are fishers,
Right, yes.
They just won't go out themselves. I mean, we can build another raft, another canoe, another sail. Like, it's not an issue.
But Yeah, but it's well, I mean, we should be capable of taking on this cult of crackers, or what are you gonna call them? Do you have a name for them?
We were actually calling them the Crackers. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
so
right.
you're saying it's the Cracker Cult?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not your responsibility to take care of us. We have some ideas we'll handle. Just,
I
you know,
mean-
if you come across
help.
the creature, try to save yourselves. You know, don't. I want to make sure you're aware of the threat.
Right.
You know, little girl
Right,
over there
well-
was trying to be fishy, but she seems
Well,
like
she-
she's just scared, and that's fine.
I look over at Clover and just, well, she's actually wanting to do some good in the world, and this is one of the ways of doing it.
Want me to fight a kraken?
No, I don't want you to fight a kraken, but I want us to do something about it.
Oh, I mean,
I mean,
Advisors, advice.
that being said, and I'm sure Jeriel's just being nice by not speaking up on it. Like, if we do help out, we do want to be compensated in some way.
yeah, we can give you a boat.
Exactly, that was what I was going to suggest.
So may I remind everyone
Tit for
that this thing is bigger than this town?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It's pretty high up there.
I mean, it is a small town.
It's pretty big. I mean, the thing's gargantuan, you know.
Right, well, we need to take care of the cult first, anyway. At least their leaders, if they have any sort of hierarchy.
I wouldn't want any of you all to die by engaging with the Kraken, you know, so that's a good call. You know, you don't look powerful enough to be able to kill something like that, you know.
Well,
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
feel
I
like you're
do.
just challenging us.
Oh,
I
Really?
definitely didn't see that two of you have like an ego complex or anything like that.
You guys insane?
We might actually, yes, be clinically insane. But let's
We're not
there's
in the
one
DS5.
thing
Why,
that
yes, we
I
are.
Enzi, was it in Enzri?
Etsy.
Etsy.
Sorry. Well, this might seem unrelated, but I just also kind of realized something. You wouldn't have happened to have noticed a female tiefling, not tiefling, I mean halfling, not unlike yourself, coming through here sometime recently.
You mean someone who's not Lotus, then?
I give a description of the description that the other group gave me of Tilly.
Oh, Tilly's a gnome, by the way.
She's
I
a
guess she's a
gnome.
gnome.
Yeah.
She's a gnome. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
What, Tilly?
yeah, she did pass through here.
God.
A while ago, though, like a year. She's a gnome, by the way, not a halfling. We're completely different.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
Like, I'm a Lotus Den halfling. right?
Okay.
She's
right,
a gnome.
I'm completely sorry, of course. Yeah. No.
That's like if I called you a demon.
Yeah. I'm
Did
being-
she come through here before or after the Kraken was put in the lake?
Oh, it was
Oh my god.
way before that. Yeah.
What are the odds she had a hand in that?
Doubtful.
mean-
She was asking about some weird stuff.
It
Like
might
what?
not be quite as don't mean to interrupt you, Tulsa. You see, I turn to the group again. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, well, I forgot earlier, but the ones I spoke to at that banquet, you know, they asked me to keep an eye out for any word of this person, and since we've been on some of her tail before, I guess you could say.
You mean like when she basically unleashed the...
Yes. That. And I turn back to Etsy. So, well, this person is extremely dangerous.
Right?
So just, yeah. Miriam, you might actually want to notify, you know, the Argon of that.
Yes. Yeah. What'd you say she was asking about?
She was wondering if there's any, you know, significant trees of life from her.
Oh no. That's...
From the Wild Mother, you know. And I got this feeling. She was clearly a druidess, and she cared about nature a lot, but there's something wrong with her. Something not okay. She looked angry. Like she was on a mission, so I kind of didn't tell her a whole lot.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she the one responsible for the fungal infection of the?
Yeah, that's what Lily was gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how all of you remember her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time we came across her, she caused a fungal infestation of fungus monsters in a forest full of gnomes.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, fungus
Especially
spreads
when
and
they're
does not
sick.
like people. You know, fungus is actually our closest, like, evolutionary match. We are
To
more like
gnomes?
fungus than we are to animals.
Right.
Oh,
I know they were. What? That is good.
You ever wonder why mushroom tastes fleshy? Or meaty?
Oh Lord. You wouldn't have to know of something called life bloom leaves, would you?
What are you asking about?
Tulsha, you just asked them their nuclear launch codes.
Oh, because that's what she was using in that forest.
And also stole some.
Oh,
Yeah, she's not a good person from what we understand.
that can be very bad.
And
right.
Well,
I
I didn't tell
given-
her what she was looking for, but she seemed real determined. If you tell me about, or if you're gonna, sending someone, right?
Right.
Who
Right.
like they specialize in this.
They're,
Stuff.
from what I understand, trying to track her down and take care of her.
Tell them to come here and talk to me, Etsy. I'll point them in at least the direction of what her destination might have been that year ago or so.
All right. That's good.
Right. Oh, wow.
So again, what was this thing about the tree of life? Because you see, yeah, I must have forgotten that. They also mentioned that at the banquet, actually. What was that again? Sorry, guys, I've just had a lot of things on my mind lately.
No, it's understandable.
There was, yeah, they were worried about, and it, because I seem to recall they said they might believe that, Trent might also be interested in those.
Oh Lord. That's not good. Oh God, what if they're working together?
That's one. Let's focus on one doomsday scenario at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds like there's someone already looking into that. Just, let them know to come here so I can send them there. Let the other
Right.
game have their content, damn it.
Sorry, I didn't think I
No, you're good.
Yeah.
The Tuesday game's hunting tone.
I'm trying to remember, Joey. When was the last time Tilly was in those woods? Was that? I'm trying to put it in my head.
That was a
when
year
she?
and a half to a year and 8-9 months ago.
Okay, so yeah, she was there in that forest almost 2 years ago.
I'm just gonna say, every time we go to a forest that Tilly's been in, there's been something very strange going on, like the giant banana and creatures, just all giant animals for no
And then
reason.
the fungus. Don't worry, though. That's not your guys' problem.
Wait, what was she in the jungle with
wasn't
Blueberry?
She was
tracking that.
mentioned. She was. So, I think Blueberry mentioned there being a gnome that showed up earlier.
Yeah.
Oh God, what if she's met Blueberry?
I mean,
Oh, no.
she would probably gotten along with Blueberry.
Well, it would explain a few things. You know those giants, and all
Right.
that thing that we thought the serum that they were testing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, before we get more sidetracked with this whole gnome issue, there's a kraken in the lake we may have to deal with.
Yeah, and there's a whole
You're
cult
not
of crackers as well.
Kraken.
Yeah, we're not.
Kraken.
We're going to send that to the right people to deal with. I don't think we're strong enough to deal with a kraken.
I think I
Yeah,
know
you
a
definitely
guy.
don't want to push
knows a
yourselves into
guy.
danger like that.
Well, I mean, why don't we like call that
Well,
other
we can
group you
have
mentioned, and then we help them out with it? You know.
We'll do what we. We'll let them know.
There it is.
It took all of 4 hours for someone to go crossover session.
Hey, at least it took 4 hours.
Right. Well, I'm sure we can deal with this cult at least, and once we do, we might be able to learn a thing or two about this kraken. And,
Right.
They
Wow.
might have Cray, and they might. Maybe they even have some inside information about it, like some things that it's vulnerable to. Or I don't know much about krakens. Captain Hempride told me a few times about them, but
Well, how's this? Why don't we focus on what we
He
came
was
here
actually
for?
awful.
Getting to the islands for the thing for Tolsha's symbol for Mama Vusi, and the other thing that we came here to investigate. And then when we inevitably learn that whatever we came to investigate was probably related somehow to this giant monster that's terrorizing this small village, then we, help out and take out this cult while the other people take out this big monstrosity.
Y'all are
All right.
super like organized. Most
No, we're
adventuring
not.
groups I come across just go, fuck it, let's get at them,
Yeah. Is there anything over the skies of the lake? Anything?
Oh
that's in
yeah,
the air?
there's a cast.
Oh,
There's an overcast.
I was mainly asking if it's safe to fly over the lake.
Oh, roll me a survival check.
Everybody session advantage.
let's see. What sort of dangerous flying monsters are there in this area?
Flying monsters. Nah, most things that'll kill you are in the water or on the ground or people.
Ah, okay. Alright, you haven't seen any dragons or some such, right?
Dragons around here? Nah.
All right.
There was a turtle dragon a long time ago, but I want to say like a year ago. And it died, I think. I don't know.
I think we saw its shell back near Zorzith.
Yeah. It was able to leave the lake through the canal. See, it's a lot smaller. That turtle dragon, a lot smaller than the kraken. And then it swam into the Gulf. And just for perception, guys, that turtle dragon, its shell was renovated into like a massive restaurant.
Yeah, I remember.
It was a lot
And that's-
smaller.
A half shell.
That's why this kraken doesn't have any natural predators. Then is that it?
Maybe.
Restaurant and a half shell.
I mean, I think a turtle dragon might be able to take a kraken if it's like a normal kraken. But the older they get, the bigger they get,
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Sorry, can I draw a circle big enough at that other lake to walk that turtle dragon to go here? Is the question.
Can I get a turtle dragon to fight the kraken, and all of you sit on the sidelines going, "Yay!"
Remember, that one's dead because its shell is now a restaurant.
Oh, I'm talking about the one at the asylum.
He's a necromancer.
Oh.
He's fine.
That's a relative term.
I just imagine this undead turtle dragon, but there's a restaurant inside, so the people
Don't
still
give
in
me
there.
hope for things I can't make.
Yes.
Animate restaurant. You need that spell first.
Yes, actually, the specific island I know we need to head to is the left one. I don't know if
Left
there's anything.
eye?
Yes.
Well, you have to get to the right eye first in order to cross the bridge that gets to the left eye. If the bridge is still up,
Why is that?
The left eye is a lot higher up, and the monsters that live on there are constantly moving around it since it's perpetually dark. The right eye, they slumber during the day and only come out at night unless you disturb any of the trees they hide themselves in.
Thank you for that knowledge.
Yeah. Y'all are going to trade me something for all this, right? Like, just making sure. I mean,
I'll
I don't
pull out
mind
a big
helping out, but
bottle.
I need something.
You
I mean,
want?
taking care
Wait,
of the-
Marion was saying something.
I have a bottle of fine wine.
You show that to her.
Yeah.
She'll take the bottle. Bitchin'.
I got some
you.
casual drugs here.
Wait, is it weed?
Not. Oh, actually, is it, Joey? Because these are the
It is.
casual drugs that I got from.
Yeah,
the other-
casual drugs is casual drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, I can make my own.
I got this, and I pull out one of the vials of cocaine.
No,
No.
not the sweet blood.
No.
I'll
We'll
get
have
you a
so
boat.
much
I'll get you a
alcohol
boat
and
for
drugs,
this.
guys.
I need a boat.
Because you guys never use it.
Yeah. No, we have like 6 doses and then one special dose that's last resort.
I mean, to be fair, Lily was
This
going to
is
use them
my
more often, but then she
plastic
died.
So cocaine for boat. Yeah, that sounds good.
Coke for a boat, and bottle of wine for info.
Sounds good to me.
She'll pour the Coke into the wine.
Oh dear God.
You got some real issues, SP.
Cheers. Thunk.
Cheers.
That has a bit of a kick to it,
Mm.
as she's now moving 5 feet per second.
Yeah. What? I'm standing perfectly still, just fucking running back and forth really quickly.
Just like huge vibration.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna come off of that in about a minute. And you're gonna fall down.
Worth it. Anyways. All right, let's go get you guys a boat. Takes off running.
All right.
Does she temporarily have the boots of trailblazing? There's just a small fire behind her.
No, I have this. Huh. You know, I was thinking maybe we could, because I still have this magic bean, you know, maybe we could grind it up and make some coffee. Do you think that would be...
I'm not gonna plant
That
it.
can turn into potentially anything.
I was joking.
That's like a
Yes.
vegetable bean, sir. Cocoa beans
shit,
are
you're back
completely
He
already.
is
different.
1,000 miles away by now.
Yeah. Yeah, they came back.
I mean, Bernie,
Hey
if you
guys,
want
I found
coffee,
your boat.
Oh, thank you, Bernie. If you need coffee, I can make you a literal limitless thing of coffee.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, let's go.
Wait, you
There's
can
that.
make a limitless thing of coffee?
Yeah.
She says now with a fatigue.
Yeah, I need like a day, but
Oh, I would love some.
I'll cap her with a greater restoration.
Oh, I would.
Jesus.
Thank you.
No. Oh man, don't let Natalie see. That's gonna mess with her.
Why is everyone puking lately? Also, Hop, Ekra, can you guys tell when people are lying?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
If somebody lies to me, I want you to tell me immediately.
Okay,
You will tell me immediately, is what she says.
fine. So, she does come back with a boat for you all that you traded for your fine bottle of wine and drugs.
And a single dose of cocaine.
Drugs.
Yeah, drugs.
And they set you up over on the shoreline where you can now start traversing out towards the eye of the lake. Even stepping closer to the eyes of the lake, you can feel a heat radiating off of the water. And further out past you in this brackish water, you even can tell it has a slight rumble at the top of it. When all of you are, Bernie, more concerned than anybody, having knowledge of, this environment, you discern that that means this water is incredibly hot, scalding hot. Nobody should go in there.
Don't go swimming, anyone.
You imagine you would be okay, but not comfortable, and it would hurt.
Telling me is control water on throw this whole lake on the eyes.
Lily will real quick, kind of just to mess with Bernie after he says that and be slightly rebellious, stick her hand in the water briefly, and then she pulls it out, and the hand's no longer there, and she's like, ah! And then her hand like comes out of the little thing it was in.
Oh, weird.
Hey, Lily, watch this. But think of Etsy and we'll blow the whistle.
So you blow the whistle and her attention like rotates around. I think there's yeah, there might be more cultists nearby. I have to go kill them real quick. I'll see ya.
Okay, see ya.
See
Should we just
ya.
head out without you then, or?
Yeah,
well,
good luck. Try not to die. And if you do, make sure you push the boat in the direction of our town.
alright, we'll try. Thank you.
Thanks.
Guys, I think getting on the water when there's a kraken is a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But we did trade for it, so we might as well use it instead of waiting till nighttime.
Yeah, but we
The bat's
we sort
smiling.
of went very quickly here to going straight to the islands. I was thinking we should look into this cult thing first. Take care of the danger around here, and then maybe it would be easier for us to.
Sorry, Bernie. From what she said, they're on the northern half of the lake. We're not near that. That would be
No, right? Yeah.
over 100 miles a straight shot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So we'd have, if we even were doing a straight shot, it'd be easier to get to the eyes and then fly over.
Right.
I mean,
But
knowing
yeah,
our
it
luck,
might
though,
be better to just get our ship out and fly over.
So
for
our
sure, but we
ship
already
can't
traded
go-
for a boat.
Yeah,
so
we already do have the boat.
Also, we want to keep that as down low as we can of not letting people know about it. And the fact there's monsters that fly around at night and daytime's a safe time.
Yeah, but why would we fly there in a ghost ship when we have already traded for a boat?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't like this plan, but let's just
Oh
just
yeah,
get-
no, I don't either, but we're doing it anyways.
So, control waters to try and get us across quicker.
Sure.
And thus,
If
with
you want to
all people
avoid the
going on-
paddle,
How big is this boat?
it's a pretty slender keel boat that definitely has an underground hull that's meant to like hold on to fish that they get out of here.
Right.
Well, my skeletons can paddle us forever.
Yeah.
And we can all keep an eye out for the Kraken.
What are the odds?
What are the odds the Kraken is over
I'm
here? Roll me a
really glad you
D100.
just got rid of that.
22 is mine. 69 is yours.
What? I thought 22 was always
All right, fine.
mine.
69's mine.
37.
What are the odds indeed? As you all are paddling and venturing out across this lake, moving over towards, I believe, the eyes, correct? Bernie did not persuade you to go after the cultists yet, right?
No.
Correct.
Okay, then. As
Too
you all
far.
are heading out there, I think this is a wonderful place for us to end the session. When we come back next week, we'll see if you run across a kraken or if you get to the islands unabated. Players, thank you all very much for playing. Viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you all had a fantastic time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Oh man, watch as we get